Greetings and salutations, friends. My word, it has been a long year, hasn't it? It has been a terribly long and trying year. And we're only 10 days in. Oh, God. So, because, you know, the black backing of Maduro, the mass protests in Minneapolis, the ICE shooting, etc., because that wasn't enough for practically the first week of January, we now have an Iranian revolution going on. Because it was just too gosh darn quiet there for a second. It was just too gosh darn quiet. Fuck. I am genuinely expecting nuclear war now. I don't see all that many ways this could conceivably escalate from here. What, this is going to be the second regime change within the first month of 2026. What the fuck is even happening? Oh, and Lum is dead, incidentally. You know, as per usual. She floated off and was flushed down the eternal toilet bowl of the beyond this morning.
I have lost.
As is what happens with fish when they reach their end of their life cycle. And I gotta say, though, too, so many of you may have heard about this thing here, right? So before Iran became what it is today, it was actually a rather Western nation. Like, it was embracing Westernism to a very large degree, and it was held up in many ways as a perfect example of a westernized Middle Eastern nation. But then, of course, you know, shit happened. I don't even know. Okay, I guarantee you.
Can I sell your
I guarantee you. I'm going to look this up now. But I bet you what happened was that the king was all like, oh, I'm going to be nice. I'm going to like reform. We're going to become like a democracy and stuff. And wow, I'm going to be such a weak and wet faggot for you. And then extremist elements rose up and overthrew that king. As is the case with, like, every fucking other revolution that succeeds. See, revolutions only basically succeeds when the ruling power is this weak. Let's see. I'm going to look this up now. Okay, so Iranian Revolution, or the Islamic Revolution, a series of events that culminate over the Pahlavi dynasty, 977. The revolution led to place in the imperial state of Iran by the Islamic Republic of Iran's the monarchical government Shah Mohammad Hassan Pahlavi, who is now vowing to come back, by the way, was superseded by... Fuck it, I don't even care. An Islamic cleric who had headed one of the rebel factions. Rebel faction, okay. The CIA backed an Iranian coup. Okay, then. Who had, nationalized the Anglo-Persian oil company. Yeah, fuck that man. Fuck that person. Okay, listen, as well. This was just entirely normal, by the way. The entire idea of Venezuela one day going like, Americans, we don't need you anymore. This is our oil now. And America doing nothing? That in and of itself was a bit of an outlier. The coup reinstated Mohammad Reza Pahlavi as an absolute monarch, significantly increased the United States' influence over Iran. Thank fuck for that. In 1970, Iran defense budget increased 800% over 4 to 5 years to combat economic instability and social disruption. Hajj grew increasing authoritarian. They spoke out often after said torture, but shall seek police. Additionally, and shall launch a white revolution, top-down models and land reform program. Fuck yes! I told you! Yes! This is always what happens. This is always what happens. He begins to institute some form of reforms. Since participant Pavlov's dog and company, I don't want to campaign. It includes communists, socialists, and Islamists. Oh, yeah, those are natural allies. Map has run away. Keychain pack. But there's like millions killed around 400 people. Damn. False flag operated by Sabak. Discard their percentages for crackdown. Fuel outrage mobilization. Wow. Okay. And then he pussied out and left without a fight. Okay. Yes. Like I said, this stuff only really happens with weak, wet leaders every time. So, what this in all due likelihood was the Soviets basically moving in and going like, listen, we don't want American influence here, and helps with the overthrow. However, well, the thing is, Iran isn't really a Muslim country. That's the thing. Iran hasn't been a Muslim country for the majority of its existence. It's been more like, what was the term? Zoroastrian or something like that? Idol worship, basically, because Iran, Persia, is a very, 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 very old place. And it has largely been conquered by Islam, as so much of that part of the Middle East has been, including northern parts of India. And Islam is not a gentle ruler, shall we say. Islam tends to be rather brutal in its oppression. You don't tend to be allowed to speak out too much over it, and if you do, you tend to get smacked down rather harshly. Oh, there we go. Dead Lum Lum. And that is exactly the kind of tales that are now beginning to come out of Iran about torture and prisons and all kinds of the usual fun and games that happens in these places. And it does look like this is probably real right now. So it's kind of difficult to tell exactly what is, fact and what is fiction at this point, because obviously the internet in Iran is, I think there was like 90% down or something at the moment. And the only reason we are even getting any footage out is because of Elon and Starlink, which, again, say what you want about Elon, but he certainly has helped in many regards like this. Oh. Food made an even better Dead Lum Lum. I like that one. Just kind of bobbing in her bowl, like, oh.
Trick or treat.
Don't feel so good.
On your feet.
Don't feel so good at all, boss. As, who the hell fucking knows? I guess this could be fake, but it sure as shit doesn't look fake. Not that that means anything in this day and age, but, yeah. There seems to be a general dismantling of the regime going on right now. There were also reports about the mullah, the big bad guy, fleeing, apparently. And there's also loads of images of what certainly does look like some pretty, what's the CNN term? Fiery, but mostly peaceful protests. There was even, I think the other day, there was rumors going around that the Iranian leader had been killed, apparently. I haven't seen anything more about that, so who the hell knows?
Are you ready to rut this yellow mare's
there was this. This was a few days ago. Ayatollah Khamenei will flee Iran from Moscow. It posts Olam security force, says intelligence report. Now, that too is basically just like, oh, well, where is he going to go? Well, he's going to go to Russia. I mean, where else is he going to... Where else is he going to fucking go? Nowhere. That's why. Where? I don't see any more news about him being... Yito Cheetoed. So I'm presuming he's still in hiding and or fine, because I can't find any public statements either. Oh, and of course the Trumphilophagus has been rattling the sabers as per usual, saying that if there's any signs of the Iranian security forces beginning to sheet? Well, that would be even worse. If there's any signs of the Iranian Republican security forces. Is there a republic? I don't know.
I have lost. Shit.
If they're beginning to shit on the protesters, then Trump will definitely step in. But he has promised intervention if he sees anything like that. So, okay. Interesting,
I have
interesting.
lost. Shit.
And hey, the thing is, when Obama says this, everyone knows that there's not really a particular threat behind that. They're aware. It's like when it's serious, like, oh, don't do this or I'll bomb you. And he didn't. But when the Trump-a-luffagus goes, you have no idea what he's gonna do. He could simply just have said this because, he was feeling a little woozy at one particular moment. He'd woken up a little bit, a little woozy. He's like, oh, Iran? I'll bomb them too. Or he could literally be sitting on the plans to continue to reduce the Iranian nuclear program to fucking dust and rubble. So, who even knows? There we go. Okay. So he has been active a little bit on Twitter, which is amusing because, nobody else has Twitter. God willing, God will bring the feeling of victory to the hearts of all the Iranian people very soon. I don't know if that's what you want. Oh, I do love how he's followed by Asmongold, by the way. I do quite enjoy that. All right, so the Iranian line is that this is absolutely the Americans doing this. I don't know. Considering Trump's leadership style, I have this sneaking feeling that if Trump was really doing this, it would be a pinch more obvious, perhaps. Yeah, I don't think he would bother with the subterfuge, honestly. Trump doesn't really strike me as the CIA kind of guy,
I have lost.
Oh, here we go. So this was the Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi saying that he is prepared to return to Iran and misrule it just like he did the first time around. Now, I don't think so. Listen, this wet piece of shit here managed to lose his country to the communists the first time around. What conceivable reason would any of us have to go like, oh, hey, try again, why not? No. See, this is the difficult part, right? If you let... That is, I just noticed, but that is a funny looking nose, too. You notice how it kind of like swerves a little bit? And it's got the little indentation there at the end. I don't know why, but ever since I watched the Halo TV series, I haven't... You know how normally people look at faces and they don't see the nose? Because it's just kind of this weird bulbous growth in the middle of your face and you're supposed to ignore it. But ever since I saw Pablo Schreiber on the Halo TV show, I can't not see the nose anymore. It haunts my dreams, it does. Kind of like... swerves gently to the side there. Anyways, my point is, he fucked up once, why should he be given another chance? And the obvious solution is, okay, Iran, elect whoever you want to lead you. Now, the problem with this is, we tried it in the Middle East, and all of the Middle Easterners who had just overthrown one brutal dictatorship was then like, we would like to replace it with another brutal dictatorship, this time of a religious orientation, so...
Service guarantee.
I'm just not entirely sure democracy is for Middle Easterners, honestly. They don't seem to quite get the gist of it, but oh well. Alternatively, we just find a relative, some long-lost cousin or something who seems a little bit more either pliant and or intelligent, and we place him on the throne instead, for shits and giggles. Why not? What's the worst thing that can happen? Country falls to communism again? Or, alternatively, hear me out here, they're already offering a small private abode to the Trump-a-luffagus.
Are you ready to rut this yellow mare's fluttery buttery butt?
Could we not consider just installing Trump as the Shah of Iran? Seriously, he's only got 3 more years left in America, okay? He needs something to do when he's done there. And as we saw with Napoleon, shunting him off on Elba and having him plan occasional road here and there, well, it led to some serious instabilities in the world political situation later down the line. So, instead of shunting Trump off to Elba, just give him the big house. Let him rule Iran for a few years. It'll be funny. Plus, the Iranians will probably fucking love it, unironically. I think is a very, very, very good idea that we should not dismiss so easily. Oh, yes. There was also the little bit of the PSYOP thingy going on. So there was this thing. This was an image that started going viral the other day, supposedly showing the feminist revolution in Iran. Now, this doesn't look like a feminist revolution to me right here. This just looks like a regular revolution. All of the pictures of men in the streets, burning shit down. Was that? Yeah, that is actually current. Men in the streets, men fighting the security forces, men throwing firebombs, and we're going like, oh, it's feminism. I'm not so sure about that, and even more so because this picture is apparently really fucking old, having first surfaced in 2022, and furthermore, it's not a picture of an Iranian feminist bravely standing up to the regime, facing real, true, and dangerous backlash for doing so. No, it's a Canadian in Toronto,
Heresy's the
Ontario.
question. Fire is the answer.
Listen, any revolution that is fueled by feminism isn't gonna do shit. That's a universal fucking truth. An absolute universal fucking truth. Don't believe it. In fact, you know what? I would actually attribute slightly more credit to Ursula von der Leyen in this case than the feminists, because at least she has stood up bravely like the European leader she is, and she has written a sternly worded Twitter post on the subject. That's all she's going to do. She's not going to do anything. She's not going to depose the mullahs. She's not going to help. She's not going to send weapons or arms or help her establish order in Iran or anything whatsoever. But you should know that Europe stands fully behind you. On Twitter. Thank you, Ursula. Thank you very much. Your mid-boss rhetoric will surely warm the heart of the Iranian people. Once they get access to internet again after they've, done all the work. But details. Seriously, if Trump wants to get rid of another regime, I see no reason why he can't do another one right off the bat. Or, well, beyond the whole need to plan all of this. Mind you, doing shit like they did with Maduro, this doesn't happen overnight. There's months and months and months of preparations and planning and training and exercises to make sure that everything goes off just right. That is one of the reasons why the US Army is as effective and powerful as it is, because it makes sure that whenever they do go into battle, they do so with the absolute maximum advantage they conceivably can have. Meanwhile, Ursula simply takes care of all of this by not worrying about any of that and just, tweeting about it instead. The EU. The EU indeed. Oh, you know what we might do? You know what we might do? If I can find it. Since we don't have a plum around today, Where the hell is this video I was thinking about? That's a good question. Wait, did I download it? Oh, yes. So since Plum isn't around today, we might just watch this video on the invasion of Greenland, how it's apparently a terrible idea, as I'm mildly intrigued as to how it's a terrible idea, because from everything I can see, I mean, it would be a complete and utter fucking cakewalk. I really don't see how this is going to be a problem whatsoever, but I don't know. Alright, we'll ask the chat if they wish to watch video or not. Right. Did that just create a pool in fucking Norwegian? YouTube has changed the back end, by the way, into Norwegian now. I don't know how to change it. Everything is in Norwegian. I fucking hate it. I forgot how to speak my own language many, many years ago. Upset. Oh, I see Porkers is in chat too. Porkers is welcome to stop by if Porker wants to. A room is always open, of course. We might do that later if chat wants to. We do have a couple of... Oh, yes, there was another. So, obviously, Minneapolis is doing, as we all expected, it's now broken into full mass-scale fucking riots, with people trying to break into the hotels where they think the ICE agents are staying. I wonder why, by the way. Why would they try to do this? It's a mystery. Now, I did see some citizen journalist on Twitter the other day doxing the name and face of the agent who shot the woman and saying, "Stay peaceful." So I'm sure they have nothing but the most gentle and peaceful intentions imaginable, surely. This is definitely not simply just domestic terrorism. No. Incidentally, who was the motherfucker who posted that? I think I found that earlier, but then I lost it again. We should just start banning these people. Not permanently, okay? Not permanently. But whenever there's a person who keeps fueling the fires during the middle of a mass conflagration like this, genuinely endangering people, just take their Twitter away for a week. Just put a little post on their account page if you try to look for it. Goes like, this person got a little bit too excited. He is on a cooldown period. He'll be back in 7 days. That's all I ask for. Krasenstein? Was that it? Krasenstein? Krasenstein. You might have... Krasenstein. Krasenstein Twitter. Let me see. Yep, that's the guy. That's the guy. Yep, no, absolutely. You start doing shit like that, which will only lead to stuff like this, and everybody knows it. Just take his Twitter away for a week. Simple as. No permanent deletion, no permanent punishment. Just like, dude, you're endangering people. We're not going to allow that. Go in the corner and chill the fuck out for a week.
Are you ready to rut this?
I'm all for that at this point. All for it. And have the usual appeals process so that, you know, if you get a false positive, you can send a message to X and go like, dude, I just said I like waffles. Okay? It's not hate speech. That's fine. But we need something like a temporary ban to just calm people the fuck down. Oh, and on that topic as well, yet further footage has also appeared of the incident. So, I said previously that I didn't know why the woman was there, and that it was entirely plausible that she was just there to, as the story was at the time, you know, drop off her children, right? Or that she was doing a turn or something. I mentioned that it was weird that she was standing in the middle of the road, because who the fuck does that? But now, more footage has arrived. She is standing in the middle of the road, actively blocking an ICE patrol for several minutes. So, nope, Nope. It absolutely does indeed appear she was there to be a professional activist with her wife, filming her being a professional activist, attempting to antagonize ICE and getting them on film whilst doing so. This appears to be 100% deliberate at this point. It's kind of insane, by the way, how in this current day and age, when everyone has a camera, everyone carries a camera on them at all times. It's literally their phone in their pocket all the time. Everything gets filmed. Everything gets filmed, and from like 17 different angles, to the point where you really would kind of think that lying to the public just wouldn't be possible anymore. In fact, you'd think, why would you even try? Why would you try to come up with like, oh, she was there innocently, and then state that obviously in public as if you know, and then a few days later, oh, it turns out you didn't know. Best case scenario, you simply leapt to a conclusion and you were wrong, which is retarded in a situation as fucking antsy and tense as this, and worst case scenario is simply that you lied on the internet for fucking Twitter clicks, which Jesus Christ, by the way. Considering the fact that we all know how this escalates in the US, how this, goes crazy with massive protests and assault on ICE and destruction of property, the fact that people are even allowed to lie about this on Twitter is mildly insane. But the problem is, of course, how the fuck do you enforce this? Do you start banning people? Do you start punishing them? What about false positives, etc., etc., freedom of speech? It's not an easy situation, is it? But this also brings me back, of course, to the video I did literally just the other day. That
guarantees citizenship.
This is the most visceral example of the divided perception of reality that I have ever seen.
Are you ready to rut this yellow mare?
As normally, when something like this happens, there's always a middle ground, right? There's a center somewhere. And that center is usually saying, well, that center was me and Sargon yesterday, I guess. Or day before. Where we were basically going, listen, we can't know for sure what happened. This is our interpretation. It was probably a sequence of panic events. It ended poorly. It shouldn't have gone that badly, etc., etc. Basically, the sensible centrist position. Which also turned out to be incorrect, by the way, as in this case, the right had it by far the most correct. Their initial judgment was this was a professional activist out there to actively antagonize ICE officers to try to create a scene. That has now been proven to be correct and true. They also said that she was trying to run over the officer. Now, that one I still have some doubts about, because even on the recent footage with the, not the body camera, but when he's filming with his phone, you can see her turning the wheel. You can also see that on the other footage, that she is trying to turn away. She's not gunning the car directly forwards into the ICE agent, but it's also very clear that she either doesn't give a shit he's there, or more likely, she's trying to clip him while she's attempting to escape, because her wheels do lock in the forward position for a moment as she guns it, and then she continues turning. So, in my opinion, she was absolutely trying to hit him. So again, the right was correct on that as well. The right has been by far the most objectively correct on this event, and the left has been consistently, not merely incorrect, but actively doubling down and lying at every step of the way. Even when new information comes out that shows new scenes that disprove their previous positions, as I demonstrated in yesterday's video, they double down on it. It is genuinely fascinating how this has happened. I mean, hey, I'm willing to sit here now and go like, yeah, no, it's actually worse than I anticipated. I was actually wrong because I didn't think it was as bad as it was. It's this fascinating case of like, how do I put it? Like, not so much entrenched as trapped ideology. Yeah, no, trapped.
Trick or treat.
I don't know, like
I saw your
cornered ideology. Yeah, I think might be onto something there. You know, cornered. A rat in a cage, a rat in a trap. You're stuck there. You know now that you've said something that's wrong. Or at least I hope there is the conscious registry that you've said something that's wrong. I hope that still exists there at some level. And your situation is, okay, but I have everyone on the internet frothing at the mouth at this. I declared that this woman had been murdered by law enforcement officers. How can I possibly walk this back? I mean, and in certain cases, like the Krasenstein guy, I have doxed law enforcement officers and none too subtly called for their murder.
Citizenship.
Can I climb down from this position? Is there any way for me to retreat? And the answer is no. There is no way for you to retreat from this position. You have to maintain it, and you have to double down on it. And I suspect this also comes from at least an element of a conscious understanding on the part of the left-wing influencers as well, that their audience is violent. And this adds an additional incentive. Like, okay, if I get this analysis wrong, the worst thing that's going to happen to me is that I piss off one of you guys in the chat, right? The worst thing that happens is that one of you goes like, Arch, I don't trust you anymore, and you walk away. Okay, non-ideal, you know, that can cost me in both terms of viewership and in terms of Superchats. Non-ideal, but that's the worst I can expect. Whereas these other influence, like when you're calling, again, none too subtly, for the assassination of a law enforcement officer on Twitter in full public, in front of millions of people, the worst case scenario is slightly shittier. Let's just summarize it as that. It's a little bit worse. Oh, actually, that's a beautiful example. There. Massive crowds of anti-sports in Minneapolis, Minnesota to speak the tide of turning America is fed up. So this is the guy who's been actively lying about this and, again, calling for the non-too-subtle assassination of an ICE officer. When he looks at this and goes, remember, though, stay peaceful. I mean, sure, it's mass secret police are shooting people in the street, breaking into homes and cars, but stay calm. Don't get violent just because the fascist Nazi thugs are breaking into your house and killing you. No. Stay peaceful. This is a non-too-subtle dog whistle. I mean, this is not a dog whistle, this is a megaphone. And we all recognize it. Nobody's confused. And so if this is the state of being you are bringing into existence, then again, if this guy suddenly one day looked at the new evidence and went, fuck. Okay, guys, I'm sorry. I know I called the ICE fascist murderers. I know I hyped you up. I know I told you that they murdered a woman in cold blood, but actually, it turns out she was blocking the road. And actually, it turns out she was trying to run over the agent. I'm sorry. When you know that your audience is capable of violence, when you know that they're capable of mass protest, when you actively dog whistle to them that is what you want to see happen, you're probably going to be very, very, very unwilling to ever stand up and admit to an error in the face of the crowd baying for blood. Fucking retarded. Genuinely fucking retarded and genuinely fucking despicable is what it is. As this is now, of course, going to escalate, obviously, even more. Somebody else is probably going to die because of this,
Are
and
you
if not,
ready to
then there's
let
going to
Yellow
be
Mare's
God only
buttery,
knows how many
buttery
millions of damage, millions and damage is done. Because people can't just stay the fuck in their houses. I mean, it's only been a few days, and literally every day we've had new camera angles. Literally every day we have had new information come out on this. And yet people are already baying for blood. Fucking brilliant. And again, it's absolutely down to the people like this. Like, this one. Okay, MAGA folks, here we go. If you want to defend the first shot he fired, how do you defend the second and third shot? Like, this is obviously and massively so disingenuous. Right. Here's the thing. People who have no understanding of what a firearm is, or how a firearm affects people, who has never fired one, who's never seen it hit anybody, thinks that when you shoot someone, there's a dramatic consequence. You know, blood fountains out, and you know for sure, like, aha, he's down. I don't need to shoot another one. And that your brain even registers that. No, when you shoot someone, nothing happens. Absolutely nothing fucking happens. Nothing. Not a damn thing. There's no arterial spray, there's no burst of blood or explosion of brain mass, etc. Nothing happens. Now, a few seconds later, things start to happen. But that is why, in many cases, in most of these cases, officers will fire multiple shots, largely also due to a panic response. Now, part of this is also training, that you fire multiple shots to make sure that the assailant is down, because by the time you actually use deadly force, you are supposed to use it as deadly force. The reason why you don't shoot to wound, for example, which is an idiotic defense at the best of times, is one, you don't discharge a deadly weapon if you don't know for sure you have to. Oh, hello, porkers. Welcome to my insane rant.
How's it going?
I am upset.
I can tell. Yeah, but honestly, you know, this topic of police shootings is actually kind of it kind of flies a little close to home. You know, because I have a lot of family in the military and the police, and specifically, when my mother, like in 2001, 2002, was assaulted by a crazy homeless man who was basically he wasn't homeless. He escaped from an asylum. So he was an escaped asylum patient trying to beat my mother to death, right? Like, she shot him like 2-3 times and nothing happened. He just kept going. And, you know, if she didn't finish it out, right, like, it would have been bad. I would have been no mom for me, right? Like, so 100%, like, especially when adrenaline's going, like, shots just keep going until the threat's over.
Yeah. I remember I saw a body cam footage a few years ago of a police officer who was being attacked by a guy with a knife. And this guy was on something or other, because police officers start shooting him, and he's running towards him, and he's mag dumping into this guy. He's pulling the trigger as quick as he can, and fucking nothing. Like, he reaches the police officer and stabs him multiple times whilst this is happening.
Apparently, according to chat, I am quiet compared to you. I don't know if that's something on my end or your end. I don't know.
Probably both.
Okay, that's fair. I will turn up.
Right. You look louder now, so I think it's okay.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
So, yeah, no, 2 and 3 shots over the space of a second? No, entirely normal, entirely justifiable.
Yeah, no. I saw the video, like, multiple times. I mean, you know, it's the shots were very quick, like, especially when you're in that situation, right? You see your buddy get hit, or I'm not sure who exactly was doing the shooting, but I mean, either way, right? Like, I mean, you know, it only takes less than a second to pull off like that many shots, right? So,
Two, if you want to defend all 3 shots, how do you defend the blocking medics from getting to her as she bled out? Now, they didn't. What he's probably referring to is a footage where there's a guy who comes up to them and says, I'm a paramedic, can I see to her? And they say no. Like, this isn't blocking a medic. This is random person from the street goes, hey bro, I'm a doctor. Can I approach the crime scene? No.
Yeah, that's kind of a big ask. Kind of a big ask. I don't see it working.
And again, like, this is also blatantly lying. He's framing it in such a way that if he's caught on it, he can go like, oh, but that's what I meant, whilst also hyping up his followers as much as possible. And then, if you want to defend all she saw 3 shots and blocking medical care, how do you defend him getting in the car and driving away from the scene of a crime after calling her a fucking bitch? Like, this too. Who the fuck cares?
No, you don't understand, okay? He used a mean word, and that means that violence against him is justifiable. Like, I don't like, you know, that's what happens. You say the magic word, and then, you know, you're checked for PvP. That's how it works.
Yeah. Wait. Oh, listen, I know we're discussing a shooting here, and a murder is going to lead to mass riots, but you don't understand. He called her a
Fire is the
bitch.
question. Fire is the answer.
Oh, okay.
Oh, man.
And as for the driving away, it's because he'd just been hit by a car, and he was going to seek medical attention. I fucking hate shit like this. I really, really do. Because, I mean, this isn't a stupid guy. I've watched this guy do debates before. He has 1.9 million followers. If he doesn't understand the effect he has on people when he writes shit like this, well, frankly, he shouldn't be allowed to have a social media account.
Yeah, I feel the effects of, like, stochastic... God damn it, I always fuck up the word, but you know what I'm talking about.
Stochastic terrorism, yes.
There you go. Thank you. I don't know. I feel in some cases people think it's worse than it is, and in other cases people think it's like better than it is. There's always kind of a I don't want to say a spectrum because that sounds like gay, but I don't know. There's a level of like for example, like the left is always like, oh, you know, it's stochastic terrorism if you say like, I don't know, just a basic fucking opinion, right? But then on the other hand, they're like, well, it's totally okay if we advocate for violence because it's against an oppressive group, so it's whatever. Like that's a very common like left-wing thing I'll see where there's a lot of like shifting of the goalposts. That's I don't know, not particularly dignified, I guess.
Like the previous guy who's like, listen, you know, there's masked Nazis in the streets shooting people and breaking into homes, but you know, stay peaceful.
Yeah, you know, it's fine. Just fight against. Remember, the authorities above you are hardcore Nazis who are quite literally the exact same as Hitler. All right. So, and remember, it is okay to fight against Hitler. Okay, because World War II. Remember that, but also be peaceful.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you want to just like do like a normal like, you know, sideshow protest or whatever, and actually not like hurt anyone or anything, it's like, hey, you know, go for it. Right? It's your right as an American, but. I think the difference really comes when you try and you know you try and you start to impede legislation physically. You try to impede like the executive branch or whatever, right? Any sort of law enforcement, and it goes from being a protest to like not necessarily a rebellion, but like, you know, if you're trying to square up to the police, you better have police level amounts of force to actually like back that up. And obviously Karens don't because they think they're in like Marvel movies or something. You know, and I mean, you know, yeah.
They literally do.
Yeah.
All right, let me do at least the big soup chest, which I'm supposed to cover as soon as they come in, to encourage people to pay me larger amounts of money, because that's my subtle manipulation. Magnus the Red. I think we are beyond the point of staying calm. The high-minded virus that the left has told is infected people to rage because it is their time. And Arch, what is your opinion on Brown Dust 2 censoring to get on Steam? Don't want a refund.
You ignorant slut.
I did see some of that, and I mean, I get it, because obviously getting on Steam is an enormous thing that will give them thousands and thousands of new players, so I understand. I don't like it, but I understand. And I believe there was another one too, if my brain hasn't stopped working, which it very well might have.
I think every big super chat you miss should automatically go to me. I'm not biased. This is just what the chat wants, you know? So like, I'm sorry, Arch. It is what it is, you know? I'm just kidding.
It might. There we go. Magnus Red again. Oh no, that was the one I got. Never mind. I'm seeing wrong. It's entirely normal. I don't have ice. Although I will do the kick one, because I prefer kick over everybody else. Death, hey Arch, no Lum. Hope everything is going well for you. Friendship with benefits fun. Lum is dead. Some sort of unknown disease, as per usual. She woke up and didn't feel her lums anymore.
Classic VTuber stummy hurt disease. Very common. It's very
Are you
contagious.
ready to rut this yellow mare's fluttery,
It does happen.
buttery butt?
Okay, might as well do a couple more. Xgraver, oh boy, what a year it has been. If this continues, we'll be fighting aliens by November. Yes. In fact, I'm kind of surprised. Oh, I did see posts about aliens the other day, again, about like, oh, there's like an alien thing in orbit and we don't know what it is. Like, that AI thing, yes. Somehow I just feel like if there were aliens out there with the technology to reach us, I don't think they would just stick a trash can in orbit and be like, yeah, they'll never notice.
I mean, I'm not sure if Isla Meows even exist, but like, I don't know. I'm kind of on that like that great filter kind of mentality where if they did exist, they'd have found us already. Like in terms of like that level of technology, like FTL type shit, right? So like, I don't know. Either they are observing us from afar or they died off already, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, well, we don't even know if space travel is actually physically possible due to the natural challenges inherent in moving through space at high speeds and hitting things on the way. But I genuinely think that, okay, it's a lot easier to make a sex bot than it is to make a interstellar engine. And the reason why that is relevant is because by the time they make the sex bot, they lose all interest in making the interstellar engine. And they just become a Coomer society that dies out.
So I feel in that case, what you'd want to do is create some sort of, I don't know, some sort of completely unbiased, like, out there alien girlfriend abstract that needs to be disseminated across media, you know, that needs to be put into every subtext in every movie. All right. And then at that point, like, you know, we'll get space travel instantly. Okay. NASA bros will want to fuck the Navi girlfriend or whoever.
Maybe. MJ Bull, from the thumbnail, Lumi's aggravation is the drug your Arch gets high on. Keep your stick on the ice. I don't know what this means. Sandu, march on time, impossible. Lum, latent gay. True. Brandon, what's your avatar video art? Had a thought. How does Awa know what industry is? The Na'vi had that no metal rule prior to the humans showing up. Did he pull the plug on a prior Na'vi civ? Possibly. I have to make a why is Awa evil video now, because I thought it was obvious, but judging by Twitter, apparently not.
Are you ready to rut this yellow mare's
Lumi loves feet. Hello, Lum. She's dead. Hail Arch, greetings rest. A repeat hypothetical for you, Lumi. She's dead. How would you feel if you didn't eat breakfast today? Still dead. Leowolf the Red. Fabricated General Musk modified the Golden Throne to run on El Presidentes. Maduro is the first. The Ayatollah is the next. I like that. Lumi loves feet. As well, how would you feel, Arch, if you made if Arch made you read? There we go, syntax. History and culture of the Lums today. A non-hypothetical Dawn of War 3 fun for donos. Ah, yes. There will be no history reading today either, because Lum is dead.
What is Dawn of War 3 even at? Like, is that like in like is that in the running? Is it like in the serious competition?
Yes,
Are you
it's
excited
close
to play Dawn of War
to
3?
close to 2/3 funded now, unfortunately.
That is very unfortunate.
Sandu, Miran is running low on water. Lum drank it all. And replaced it with urine, no doubt. Apologetic the Enlightened. Rip, Lum, she's gone to the fishbowl in the sky. Yes, the great unavoidable vortex that claims all Lums in the end. And Brendan, other thing. Did you see China's genius plan to turn container ships into missile boats? I feel like this is just a good way to get every Chinese ship the Tomahawk double tap. Military or no. Oh, this has been a long-term idea. The Russians had this too, where they would smuggle weapon systems in shipping containers and like place them next to military airports and then reveal this Transformer-esque automated monstrosity of miniguns and rocket launchers and shit. The problem is the Ukrainians actually did that to the Russians, but with drones, which upset the Russians greatly. But speaking of 2026 as being a long year, on slightly less, well, actually, kind of equally serious, but at least mildly funnier news. This happened the other day.
Hang on, I'm waiting for stream to catch up.
I should probably share the screen.
You probably should, so I can know what you're talking about.
There we go.
Thank you. All right, let's take a look. See here. Oh my god.
Yeah, just
I have
randomly a streamer, and the worst part is okay. So to illustrate the insanity, keep a look at this guy's head right here.
Bitch, my KCIP is $5.
Did you see that?
No, I didn't. It was so sudden.
There, right there.
Oh shit!
Uh-huh.
Oh shit!
Uh-huh.
That's crazy. Oh my god.
Yeah. Like I said, 2026 is a long fucking year, yo.
They're just fucking going. Oh my god.
What the hell is even going on now?
I mean, you always get like those like stories of like weird stalkers or like stream snipers, literally, right? Like shit like that. Like, I'm completely unfamiliar with this content creator. I have no idea what they're doing, right? But you know, who knows?
Yeah, I know nothing about this either. Like, for all I know, this could still be like a prank or something. But it's like, again, 2026. Like, it's. And I saw this and I was like, "There's no way." Seriously? And then somebody pointed out the laser on his fucking hat. I'm like, Jesus, what the fuck is even going on?
That's so crazy. That's so fucking insane.
It's so absurd. Like, what the hell is this? Some motherfucker.
It feels fake. Yeah.
Like, judging by like the time between the what seems like the impact here too, the fucker was literally laser ranging his ass with this.
Do they know like anything about like the shooter or like anything, or is it just we just know he got shot?
No, like I don't think we even know if he was shot yet. Okay, now here we go. So there's been an update. Yes, they were actually shot at. So the guy who looks like is hit was indeed hospitalized.
I have lost shit.
So, what the fuck is even going on?
Oh man, just a quick read off of the that article. It looked like it wasn't even it was Convi that got shot. It was one of his like crewmates or his friends that got shot. So imagine just like accompanying your buddy for some stupid online stream and you get like shot. That's so crazy.
Yeah. Like you're out there streaming to kick or whatever, and suddenly a laser pointer tags your buddy's head, and then boom.
Yeah.
Like, what even is this year? Yeah, there you
Yeah,
go.
honestly, the first like 10 days of January have been going in like slow motion for me. Just like all the shit going on, you know?
Yeah. We're heading towards our second regime change now. People are getting
I mean,
assassinated
honestly-
on stream.
Honestly, you know, I'm pretty pro like removing like an Islamic caliphate and like replacing some form of like rule of law, but like, you know, that's not based off of you know, theocracy, but I don't know. I think that's a positive personally, but that's just me.
Oh yeah, I'm all for it. Not a problem. It's just crazy that it's happening days after Trump black-bagged Maduro in the middle of the night.
A friendly reminder that the Stranger Things gay scene lasted longer than it took to bag Maduro. And that is beautiful.
And the top of absurdity, by the way, the United Arab Emirates announced that it will cut funds for citizens who want to study in the UK out of fear of Emirates students being radicalized by Muslim Brotherhood Islamists.
Oh my god, that's so fucking funny. I guess it makes sense because it's like if you're the government of, you know, the UAE, right? You know what rhetoric is Islamic terrorism and what rhetoric isn't. Okay, but then you go to like the West, you go to the soft bigotry of low expectations, and all you see is, oh, they're equally Muslim, they're all the same, and that's not the case.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. They would probably recognize Islamic extremism easier than the UK would, but I just fucking love it. Again, 9 days into 2026, and the Arab Emirates are going like, England? That hotspot of Islamic radicalism? We're not sending our people there, Jesus.
Oh my god. Oh fuck. Oh. Fuck.
I repeat, chat, it's been a long fucking year.
The fucking Marine in chat. The Yakubite Caliphate. That's Agarthan's right. True Agarthan's rise up. Oh god.
And thank you to Watching It All, by the way, for the 5 ArchCast memberships. Thank you very, very much, sir. Thank you.
Also, one of your super chats from a mutual fan, Marin Gatu, says that you dislike the Wifrip currency, and I'm supposed to yell at you about it. So how dare you, Arch?
The Whiffoot?
The Warhammer Fantasy roleplay currency. I don't know. Apparently, according to Marin Gatu, you don't like it. I don't know. I'm just reading the super chat. Okay, don't hate the messenger. Hate the game. Okay.
See, I quite liked it because it allowed me to bury my players in like 17 different forms of currency and be like, you figure out what that's worth.
There's only 3. What do you mean 17?
Oh no,
It's
one of
not
the
at all.
one of the extended books has like special dwarf money, it has a Stalin money, it has Bretonnian money, it has Chilean money, it has Norse money, it has everything, and it's beautiful.
Okay, that's fair. I remember when my party went to Marienburg, I did an adventure in the Marienburg book called The Lustrian Boris Boom, where the party are victims of a rug pull crypto scam, but in Marienburger goo, and they actually transferred all of their money into this Marienburger currency and almost got rug pulled. It was fucking hilarious. It was great. First edition's crazy. They're just like, yeah, rug pull your players. Who gives a fuck?
Who gives a fuck?
Yeah. Anyway.
At least, okay, so this is just a rumor, but good news. The accursed fucking Blade movie might be dead. God,
Good. There's only one blade. There's only one fucking blade. Okay.
Yes. Like, I'm sick of all of the world-changing news. Can we go back to talking about how Blade sucks? Okay? How we don't need another one. How it's perfect just the way it is.
Blade is unironically like one of the coolest Marvel movies in existence, and it just kind of went down from there.
Yeah. Like, unless somebody is going to give me a reasonable plan to rejuvenate Wesley Snipes, I don't want to hear about any Blade movies.
Yeah, for real.
I don't give a shit. Wesley Snipes, man, he is an incredibly underrated actor, I've come to the conclusion of.
Oh, for real. Wesley Snipes is great. He's fantastic. Motherfuckers always keep trying to. What's the fucking thing? Like
I skate uphill.
Yeah, ice skate uphill. That's what it was.
Yeah, like I swear to God, because Wesley Snipes was kind of viewed as like a B-list actor, but if you look back at his performances in Demolition Man in particular,
Are
like
you ready to rut this
we were
yellow
just
mare's
spoiled.
fluttery
Okay, that's it.
buttery
We just had too many good actors at the time to recognize that he was fucking awesome.
You know, it's very hard to notice gold when diamond is right there. You know, like.
Yeah, unironically, like we lived through an absolute golden age, and only now are we beginning to look at the people who populated it and going like, wow, they were really good.
Yeah, I mean, like I think like Blade 2 in the trilogy, the third one was like variable, shall we say? But like Blade 1 was like peak. Like it was just cheesy enough, but also just like cool enough to be like peak 90s. Like I'm like, damn, you know, you watch Blade 1 and it's like, damn, I really want to play like a fucking Vampire the Masquerade or something. Like something. I don't know. It just got that vibe to it. That 90s kind of chic. That seems like nostalgia to me now.
Yes. So Blade 2 was up and down here and there.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, it's variable.
But there was the one scene where they're all like, "Oh,
Yes,
we tricked you, Blade.
yes, Ron Perlman.
It's a fake bomb," and he's like, "It's not a fake." That is a brilliant fucking scene. And Blade 3, okay. Blade 3 gets infinitely better if you just assume that it's actually Deadpool before he becomes Deadpool, and it becomes a great movie again.
Interesting. Okay. So
Yes.
I have only I know I was talking about trilogy opinions as if I had watched the movie, but I actually have not. I have refused to watch trilogy only because I heard it's really bad. So I just watched 1 and 2 and I just stopped it there, and I was like, all right, I'm content.
Trinity is a fucking trip.
Oh, Trinity.
It is a fascinating little movie that I still actually quite like, but you've got to view it as basically like a pre-Marvel Cinematic Universe movie, and just understand that, yeah, no, this is actually Deadpool, and everything makes so much more sense then.
Hell yeah.
So if we never get another Blade, I'll be happy, and I just let it be. Just let it be, Marvel. Just let it fucking be.
Mhm. I mean, like, it's so funny how movie studios will consistently engage with like quote unquote riskless productions, but even then they just completely fail because what they think no risk means is so off topic to the actual like heartbeat of like media enjoyers. It's kind of insane, actually, how it's just like just that slow, like late 2010s decline was really depressing to watch in real time.
You know, they don't understand what made like a movie like Blade good, and they couldn't recreate it today if they wanted to.
True, 100%. Product of its time. Mhm.
So if the Blade movie is actually cancelled, then that will be the first piece of normal news this year. I hope that's the case.
Yeah, here's hoping.
Also, back to the topic of less than normal news, we have supposedly an account from one of Maduro's security guards on the operation to black bag his boss. And it is quite the fascinating little read. So this comes from a interview. I think it was linked down here somewhere. God only knows where. But the interview is in Spanish, and I don't understand a word of that nonsensical language. So we'll read the transcript, and bear in mind, this could be complete and utter bullshit for, complete fabrication, but it sounds cool enough that I want it to be real. Security guard. On the day of the operation, we didn't hear anything coming. We were on guard, but suddenly all our radar systems shut down without any explanation. The next thing we saw were drones. A lot of drones flying over our position. We didn't know how to react. So what happened next? How was the main attack? Security guard. After those drones appeared, some helicopters arrived, but there were very few. I think barely 8 helicopters. From those helicopters, soldiers came down, but a very small number. Maybe 20 men. But those men were technologically very advanced. They didn't look like anything we've fought against before. And then the battle began, asked the interviewer. Yes, but it was a massacre. We were hundreds, but we had no chance. They were shooting with such precision and speed, it seemed like each soldier was firing 300 rounds per minute. We couldn't do anything. And your own weapons? Did they help? No help at all, because it wasn't just the weapons. At one point, they launched something, I don't know how to describe it. It was like a very intense sound wave. Suddenly, I felt like my head was exploding from the inside. We all started bleeding from the nose, some were vomiting, we fell to the ground, unable to move. And your comrades, did they manage to resist? No, not at all. Those 20 men, without a single casualty, killed hundreds of us. We had no way to compete with their technology, with their weapons. I swear I've never seen anything like it. We couldn't even stand up after that sonic weapon, or whatever it was. Interviewer, so do you think the rest of the region should think twice before confronting the Americans? Security guard, without a doubt. I'm sending a warning to anyone who thinks they can fight the United States. They have no idea who else they're capable of. After what I saw, I never want to be on the other side of that again. They're not to be messed with. On the one hand, that does sound rather masturbatory. On the other...
Yeah, it does kind of come across a little propaganda-ish, but like, big if true. Big if true.
Because... The US does have sonic weapons. We know this. The LRAD, or something like that. So basically,
I don't know. Yeah.
We've experimented all this for quite some time. Things like microwave weapons, for example, that literally just fucking boils you from the inside out, but, you know, gently.
I remember the lasers that they used to blow up, like, pirate ships. I remember that, but...
There are also sonic weapons, which just literally send out, like, really, really, really directed sound waves. You know, when you're at a concert and you can feel, like, the throb reverbing in your chest? It's that, but a lot worse. And they're not huge. Like, they're not massive. So I could absolutely see them mounting this on a helicopter and being real. So, okay. I can see it. And as for their aiming, so the new US weapon is the Spear, XM7 SIG Spear. And the weapon itself is kind of underwhelming. The 20-round magazine is a fucking massive mistake, in my opinion.
I think you could, like, use that gun in Metal Gear Solid 4. That looks like a Metal Gear Solid 4 weapon.
It kind of does. It looks like weirdly futuristic in a way.
Yeah, like the pseudo-futurism. Mm-hmm. Or modern futurism.
But the big deal with it isn't the gun, it's the sight. So the sights that come with the XM7 costs more than the gun itself. By a lot. And it's literally a firing computer. Like... I've seen demonstrations of this thing on YouTube. It literally is just a lock-on system where you point it at what you want hit at any distance, and it aims the weapon for you. Like, it tells you where to shoot. It's an actual unironic fucking aimbot.
That's because it says shit like, oh, increases first round to hit probability. Like, how so? I mean, just because I'm not actually looking down at sights, but does it, like, do some sort of, like, aimbot shit where it's like, oh, like, shoot here in order to hit this target at this range or something? Like,
yes, not only does it have
rangefinder, so,
laser rangefinder and a ballistic computer. It's literally an aimbot. So I can see it. Like, if they're doing this at night, they're up against security forces, they're going to have vastly superior night vision optics, and they're using a thing like this that just go, oh, you want to hit that guy over there? Well, he's 122 meters away. This is where you need to shoot to hit him. Yeah, I can see how the defenders are going to feel utterly fucking outmatched by something like this.
Mhm. I mean, especially when, like, you know, you're fucking. I'm not sure the military, like, technology, like, civilization level, right? Like Civ 5, what's their tech level in military for Venezuela? But I have to imagine it's like, I don't know, 80s, 90s, like post Cold War type shit. So like nothing compared to rangefinder scopes on every infantryman, I guess.
No, I literally, I imagine they're just carrying fucking AKs or some such nonsense.
Yeah. I'm gonna change out my XLR wire. It's kind of going in and out for me, but I will be back. I'm gonna change it out.
Are you ready to
So
wreck this
maybe,
yellow
chat,
mare's fluttery
maybe
buttery
the Venezuelans were attacked by basically our version of space aliens, just the US Army, with its various bullshit equipment. Right, let me do a couple more super chat then. Project Enlighten. Lum died as she lived in a toilet bowl. As always. Stop doing that, YouTube. Nicholas Cantor, greetings, Arch and Wrong Fish. Is wrong about Longsword and should feel bad. Milking Farm and loose of Dr. Pepper privileges. Yep, chat is wrong about longswords. It is correct. Chat is unlearned, uneducated, and deficient.
I have lost. Shit.
Dreadnought, I was right then. The left can't even be trusted on anything like this. All in the face, I don't care, still holds the same weight as before. Like I would think Minifrego bears even more weight now than previously. Cuban, has anyone checked to see if Tom Clancy has broken his coffin with this massive erection since he clearly wrote the plot of this years ago? It does feel a little bit like a Tom Clancy novel, yes. Also, UK revolt next. No, sadly, the UKs are occupied. They've got their colonial government. Cthulhu, don't forget 2026 started with China using police and military to cancel New Year's. You should watch the China show. And what's going on with shipping? What's going on with shipping? That is a weird name for a channel. I heard that the Chinese were the good guys, though. I've seen it on Twitter, that their cops don't shoot people. Oh, there's the one that I missed. I fucking knew I'd seen something. Fuck you, YouTube. Trogan, 450. Afternoon chat. Finished up Unicorn Overlord, going to final stage fight of the game. Rip to the Lums. Arch put this toward Dawn of War 3 fund, and shall suffer, as Mal intended. Mal will be made to suffer more than I. Mal will be taught command modern operations, and will not enjoy the experience. Finnegan, looks like it's Jover for Iran. I do hope so. Marine Alva, the chief of the Portland Police Bureau, was crying over 2 gang members shot by Custom Border Patrol. Blames the ICE agency. Of course. How dare you stop these violent thugs from entering our country? Enigma, Antifa wishes they could protest like the Iranians. They do. Sentinel Rex, it's obvious since the yonking of Maduro that all these tyrants from lesser nations realize the reach of our arm. They run to China or Russia because those are the only places that they will escape. And I was going to point out, if Iran now falls, that's pretty much the last China/Russia ally on a damn near world basis now. They gotta be upset. Not to mention, one of the big reasons why the Venezuela thing is a big deal is because most of Venezuela's oil production... See, oil is obviously valuable to America, it's valuable to everyone, duh, because it's oil. But the people it's most valuable to are the Chinese, who don't have any, and were buying the majority of Venezuelan oil, and now they can't. Their second distributor of oil was Iran, and Iran right now is also undergoing a massive coup. This, by the way, is going to speed up the invasion of Taiwan. Like, I said previously, the invasion of Taiwan would happen within, like, 2028 or something. It's either it's happening this year. It's happening this year. Okay? Taiwan this year. I'm calling it right now. This fucking year is insane. It's gonna happen this year. I was gonna say next year, but let's fucking face it. The way this shit is going, yeah, it's happening. It's happening. And it's happening because without any oil, there's only so long they can actually wait until they will run out of the resources they actually need to fight that invasion. So, yeah, if you're living on Taiwan and you don't have a bomb shelter yet, start digging. What the fuck are you waiting for?
I'd be terrified if I lived in Taiwan. Like, unironically, like, I have no idea. Like, I guess I get it where it's like, oh, this is our homeland, you know. But like, oh god, I would literally like the literal, like, you know, the dragon is right there, right? Like,
yeah, no, I would unironically just save money until I can buy one of those fucking survival bunkers, you know, the pre-made ones.
Mhm.
Unironically, abso-fucking-lutely. I'd probably spend some extra money on making one of the fancy ones. You know, you could live in comfort whilst the world ends above you.
hell yeah, get one of them K-type bunkers,
I
you know,
have
just
lost.
like
Shit.
live out your life, you know.
Yeah. Nice generator, a nice couple of fuel cans. I mean, they aren't even that expensive anymore. Okay, well, you know, they're not cheap, but $200,000, you get a full massive bunker, all of the stuff, all of the redundancies, all of the power, fully furnished, etc. They come, they dig down in your yard, and there you are. Like, for most people, this is going to be absurd paranoia.
Service
For the
guaranteed
average
citizen.
Taiwanese family, I'd consider this a basic installation.
Kind of counter chat a little bit because some people are like, oh, like, you know, it'd be an attempted invasion, right? Like they wouldn't win, all this sort of stuff. That, you know, Taiwan has like US as its ally and the West as its ally. Like at the end of the day, I don't think China could win, but like I think China could get to the point where it would destroy my hypothetical house. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not necessarily, oh, like China will just auto victory this shit. It's much more of like, you know, because of the proximity, there's a lot of damage that can be done that I'd rather not risk to myself or my family.
Yep. I did a scenario on this years ago, and basically, it can happen. It depends a lot on what exactly China's capabilities are. They claim to have their IRBMs that can hit American carriers in the Atlantic. If they actually can, which is a big, big maybe, then that would be incredibly devastating. It would mean that they would only be up against the actual Taiwanese Air Force, which is massive, mind you. Taiwan isn't like France or somebody who's like, oh, we have no threats. No, Taiwan is very much so aware that China wants to fucking invade them. So it would be an enormous air battle. Fucking massive air battle. Probably one of the largest in modern history by quite some distance. And it would not be easy. Like, the Chinese would suffer brutal casualties taking Taiwan. But they could do it. And they're going to try. Like, if it doesn't happen within this year or the next couple of years, they're not going to, because now Taiwan has been allowed to buy F-16s again. They've been allowed to buy M1 Abrams, and the reason why they weren't allowed to buy these was specifically because America knew that if Taiwan started buying top modern gear, China would realize that the clock was running and it would speed up an invasion because it was now or never. Well, we are at the now or never state, so yeah. 2026.
You know, like, because I think we met before this actually occurred, but what's your opinion on the Gulf of America situation? Just like real quick, like, do you have any opinion on it? Like,
The changing of the name?
yeah, correct.
Yeah. I think it is a pretty cute flex. I'm like, oh, March, Gulf of America now.
So because I was arguing with my friend last night, and because they were like, it doesn't matter. America can do whatever it wants. No one's going to recognize what it does and all this sort of stuff. And I was just like, I feel if sufficient enough force is pushed on a simple naming convention, like you could get away with some silly shit and some hypothetical government. Like I was like, look, if America just like and backed it up with force, just declared, all right, China, it's cuckland now. Like how many European nations would actually just be like, okay, America, you're actually showing up with force. Okay, we agree, it's cuckland now, and they all just change it. But it was kind of this like thought experiment of like how much force would you have to push to call a nation a ridiculous name?
It would be funny.
It would be funny. Anyway,
I see no reason why not. So yeah, it's going to be a fun time for China, chat. That's just going to happen now.
oh God, we do live in a society. Mm-hmm.
Lumi loves feet, but Arch, never forget that Iran forces offing civilians still better than what happened on January 7, 2021. They're probably. Talak for another 50. Thank you very much, sir. Hello, Arch. Managed to catch a bit of your stream on my lunch break. From what I gather, Lum has died in this stream and must need milk to revive her. Milking farm for maximal revival and suffering for her mile. Good. The milking farm must grow larger. The milking farm is at $1,880 now, which means what we're 200. No, that's not how math works. It means we're $120 away from completing it. That's how math works.
That's crazy. People must like milking farm, I guess.
They do. They love milking farm. I already know the thumbnail for this one. It's going to be Mal in her bedroom doing her thing with a giant Mothman Lum just staring in at her obsessively. Father Jack the Enlightened. Goddamn it, Arch. Check chat more, you fucking sweet. Working on it. Rage of the Mohawk. Hey, Arch, I know you said the likelihood of you being able to check out the materials for my Telltale War game was slim, but I neglect to ask where I should send it to. Some email or XDMs? Yes. There should be on my YouTube thingy, the information tab. There should be an email listed there. I think. Should be. I'm pretty sure it used to be there anyways. Sentinel Rex continued. This is why NATO and the UN had any power, because of the US. Now the US is flexing its muscles. The people of these oppressed countries feel they can act with US backing. NATO be damned. Yes, and I do also want to point out, the only ones actually complaining about Trump doing this shit are literally either the American liberals or NATO. The people in Venezuela are like, oh, we don't have a dictator anymore? That's really cool.
I mean, pretty much the moment I saw that, like, because I was a little unsure of like the world politics between Venezuela and America. Like I didn't know how solid the drug stuff was and all that sort of stuff. But I mean, the moment you see the Venezuelan people actually celebrating the kidnapping of Maduro, like that instantly is like, okay, yeah, like clearly there's I don't think the left is correct on this issue of like, oh my gosh, imperialism.
Yeah, it's strange, but most people don't actually like living under a violent communist dictator. Weirdly enough.
That's true.
Jay McWild. For 500 warp tokens, Sargon just needs a few tactical nukes. That basically solves a few waves of invasion of fleet. Subsequent invasion forces will think long and hard. Yes, but remember China has nukes too. So you don't want to give them nukes because that gives China a reason to start dumping their nukes, and then... Like, the problem is right now, a lot of people are beginning to realize that we can probably win a nuclear war. That's going to make a lot of people way more interested in starting one.
I wonder what the next oh, sorry, my bad.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I'm wondering what the next like what's the next step in like human weapons technology beyond nuclear missiles, right? Like, will we ever kind of develop a new type of deterrent that kind of goes beyond that level of destructive power? Rods of God, perhaps. I don't know.
Yeah, well, it'll probably be orbital bombardment stuff, just mounting giant tungsten arrows in space and going, yep, stop this. Block this, casual.
I distinctly remember my dad, because he was a captain in the Air Force, and when he'd get really drunk, he'd be like, "Oh my gosh, you don't understand. I could tell you so much about what we got. It's so much crazier than you think it is, but I can't." And I don't know how much of that was just him like fucking with me or him being serious, but like he was pretty drunk, so I don't know. But yeah, satellite weapons do sound the path to me.
And Fred and Art, that is Kid. What is Kid? Who is Kid? And Zluxon, Twitter account gone. Glowed too close to the sun. You can't do that. Donald Logan, look, you're going to get a priest, king, or a warlord. In Iran, yes. Yes, a priest, a king, or a warlord. Personally, I would prefer a warlord at this point. Lumi loves feet. Chat memory of Lumi. Please donate all of your chats to Dawn43. She knew how much Art loves RTS games and how much he loved Worm 40k. Enjoy Art. Dawn43. $20. Maybe we'll just start increasing the price of that a little bit. Norseman, the EU is just the Fourth Reich under a different name. I mean, getting there. Actually, I think the Third Reich was significantly less democratic, or not democratic, bureaucratic than this one, so. Mr. Personality, use a VPN, set location to USA, and it should fix that. Which one? Fredden, fiery but mostly peaceful terrorism. Correct. The best kind. At $1 there was no opium trading in China, only opium smuggling. The British were the cartels and they beat the Chinese into submission twice. Yes, they did. The Chinese didn't want to have all their people addicted to opium, but the British really enjoyed the idea of the Chinese addicted to opium. And the money they could get from smuggling it. And so they, when the Chinese were like, we don't like this. Oh, well, too bad.
I have lost.
I do enjoy that part of history. The part where the British Empire literally just forces a country to accept drugs poured into it.
I mean, if Venezuela and the U.S.'s power politics were completely reversed, where Venezuela was somehow the top dog, I'm sure that same situation would have come about, right? Like, I mean, at the end of the day, drug money is very good money.
Yeah, it's very good money. It's incredible money. Crane Boy, given the left's tendency to censor, hide the truth, and willful misrepresent the facts of reality, I truly believe they are generally aware that their ideals are false. This behavior is malicious tribalism. They are evil. Or, as I said, trapped. Like, I feel as if you know you are a hyena, and you're surrounded by other hyenas, I think you're going to keep barking like a hyena just so you don't get eaten next. Marine Elva, we know which side lives when the facts don't support their view, and which side will accept the fact even when it doesn't look good for them. Maranga 2, War Games Atlantic sells a kit set labeled Trench Missionary that is marked as compatible with Trench Crusade. I wonder why they didn't get a strike, Witcher and Phoenix Point. Probably because they have more of an understanding with the Trench Crusade developers, as I have heard from some other people who are making Trench Crusade compatible boxes that they've basically talked to the devs directly and gotten their guarantees that they're not going to get struck. So a bit of favoritism there. MJ Bull, federal historian, put out an interesting video yesterday on the 50s, the day the Earth stood still, movie and rules-based order you might want to see. Maybe. Chickadoo, Art, which would you prefer? US freedom of speech, ridiculousness, or Britain's freedom of speech, ridiculousness? The American one, obviously. Colin Lester, still a bad shoot officer, induced jeopardy. The camera he had was from a phone. You want something to happen, both parties are stupid in this situation. I can see the officer-induced jeopardy argument, because apparently, according to the rule book, they're not supposed to stand in front of a vehicle. Now, I would then also argue that he wasn't standing in front of the vehicle, he was circling the vehicle to record it. And should he have been there? Probably not, but it's one of those things where I doubt they'll manage
ready to wreck
to
this
argue
yellow
officer-induced
mare's
jeopardy, but
buttery butt.
who knows? And it's going to be rather interpretatory. And Marine Alva left it already made videos admitting they would cheer if it was him instead of her. Of course they would. I mean, they weren't crying when he was dragged 100 feet under a car a couple weeks ago. Nobody talked about that. Oh, the Jack
Wait, what?
Oh yeah, the officer involved in the shooting in Minneapolis, he had been hit by another illegal immigrant earlier, a few weeks prior, and he had been dragged behind the car for 100 meters.
Good lord. No wonder he was up on the uptake with the gun. Like, damn, he didn't want that happening again. Jesus.
No, literally, he had probably replayed that exact scenario in his mind hundreds of times, and like, no, I don't want to be run over.
I don't see why her getting shot is the biggest surprise, because in the realm of law enforcement, right? One, when you're being detained, right? Especially the one thing you never really run. Second, when you're operating common out there, to vehicle as a weapon.
Sorry, you're cutting out there a bit. Can you say that again?
Oh, God damn it. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it. Can you hear me now? What I was saying was that it is common in every police, like PD, to treat vehicles as deadly weapons when, in the context of potentially being run over, right? So, like, you are trained when you see something like that to instantly treat it as a guy with a gun. So it's like, yeah, you see one of your buddies about to get run over, right? He's right there. Of course you're going to shoot. It's literally like, that's part of the training.
Yes. Because it is a very large, very heavy vehicle that can accelerate very quickly. Father Jack the Enlightened, don't forget, they are the demons from Freerun. And Name of the Red, the left doesn't understand how restrained the right has been, and we on the right are nearly out of patience. Marine Albert, somebody try many bodies. Mario Trujillo, are you entertained yet, Arch? I've got my marshmallows ready for the fire. Buckle up, man. We're in for a wild year. We're not even a month in yet. We are. Also, so if you could make your audio cut in and out more often, because it makes chat spam, and that raises my interaction algorithm, so...
Yes. All right, yeah, no problem. Yeah, I think it might be Discord doing its like automatic input sensitivity. It got hotter over here, so like my AC is like going up and down, and I think Discord's trying to like adjust to that. That's my thought. I don't know. I will cancel all the stupid Discord effects because Discord likes to be Discord. Yeah, here we go. Automatic gain control. Thank you, chat. I appreciate it.
There you go. And chat is overwhelmingly in favor of watching a video. Okay. Since it's been the crazy day, or crazy week, but we've kind of covered it, we're going to educate ourselves on Greenland then. Why not?
Ice,
I love Greenland.
Now, there's a video. That is not the thumbnail. There's the thumbnail. I wish I could tell you the channel name, because this is for a YouTube channel, but I can't find the fucking video. I downloaded early, so I'm like, oh, I might do a stream on this. But since we're sitting here now, I figure we might as well do it. This is from a military commentator who apparently used to serve in the Finnish army, and I kind of want to hear his argument here, because from where I'm sitting, surely this would be a fucking walkover. Right? I don't even think there would be a fight. I think America would just go like, yeah, it's ours now. And then it would be. So we'll see, I guess. Let's see if this is actually recording the volume, which it should be.
Ice, distance, and darkness. That's what defines Greenland as a military problem. If you ask whether the rest of NATO could realistically defend Greenland against a US invasion, you're really asking who can move, fight, and sustain under Arctic conditions.
Okay. By the way, chat, if any of you knows the channel, do let me know, and I can actually link to the guy, because he's clearly knows someone about this, because that's a good opening, yeah? The military problem of Greenland is probably going to be first and foremost a logistical problem. rather than a warfaring one, because who the fuck wants to fight on Greenland? Jesus.
Through blizzards, on ice-choked seas, with almost no infrastructure to lean on. And you're asking who would even want to. Outside of the MAGA core, I don't think the US public would back an invasion of Greenland, or Canada for that matter, and I don't think Washington...
I don't know about Canada.
I don't want Canada. I don't want the US to take Canada. I want to stay away from Canada, all right? Canada can keep to itself because I want nothing to do with Canada or Canadians, all right? They
Awesome.
are America's bastard children, all right? I want nothing to do with them, all right? America forever, Canada never. No. And that is my totally unbiased opinion. Mhm.
I might not want America to take Canada, but I do want America to invade Canada. Okay, there's a
No,
subtle
because
difference.
then their ideals will infect America, even
Well, you don't
with
give
the
them
invasion.
rights. My God, you don't give them citizenship. Christ.
Arch, when you look at a cat, you realize it's cute and you give it rights. That's how it works, okay? I know that we don't like to call Canadians people. I know that's like a social faux pas, but people will do it. All right?
Also, chat was saying the channel is military rated, which appears to be this one. And yep, there it is. There you go, chat. So this is the channel if you want to check it out. Military rated. But I still want you to invade Canada. I don't like Canada very much.
would choose to rupture NATO over it.
Now, there's the thing, too. Choose to rupture NATO. So this is one of the big things, right? Where Europe is like, we'll kick you out of NATO if you do this. You'll kick out 70% of your own defense coalition? Even as you're screaming bloody murder that Russia's going to invade you and wear your asses as hats? Really?
Unironically, yeah, it's like, what the fuck would NATO ever do? America literally dominates NATO in the military space. Like, there's nothing they could fucking do.
Not to mention, how would you kick them out? Is there even a mechanic for removing a NATO member state? Because I'm pretty sure doesn't the US have a veto in NATO?
It would be very amusing where the veto system for kicking out is based off of like contribution or whatever. So everyone just votes and America just says, nah. It's like, oh. Okay, I guess you're still in. Like,
I'm just gonna ask fucking Grok. No, the United States does not have veto power in NATO. Decision made by consensus among all member states. Okay, consensus amongst all member states. So they do basically have a veto, sort of. So basically, NATO goes, we're gonna kick you out, America, and America goes, no.
yeah, I mean, like chat said it best. You'd have to have everyone else leave NATO, or like otherwise, like not have some, otherwise disable its sovereignty or disable like its power.
Yeah, which would mean that the EU would have to convince all of the other member nations to leave NATO and then rebuild it on their own.
Are you ready to rut this yellow mare's
Like,
fluttery
I
buttery?
don't think that's gonna happen. Like, I don't. Imagine the public backlash, too. Like, I don't think Turkey's going to leave America. Do you think Turkey's going to be like, oh, yeah, fuck America. We don't need protection against Russia on our borders. And we really do care about Greenland.
Honestly, I feel that the whole Greenland situation, like, I feel it could either be done through, like, essentially just, like, coercion, right? Where it's like, they'll just deal for Greenland, but under the threat of military force. It's like, okay, we'll get a deal to kind of work everything out, right? But, at the end of the day, we better come to an agreement, right? Like, that seems like the dominant strategy that would win, I feel. Like, 9 times out of 10. Just because it's like, I mean, especially for Greenland, like, frankly, who the fuck cares? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't think a lot of people would, I don't think America would go to war over Greenland, like, realistically, but
Service
I
guarantees
also feel
citizenship.
that the threat is there enough to make that pass over.
Yeah, I think this is Trump just doing a red herring again. Just go like, oh, I'm going to invade you. And then the Danish will come and negotiate and he'll get whatever the fuck it is he's after. Or he's simply covering up the Epstein files again. Who the fuck even knows at this point?
That's true. That's true. The circle of the Milwaukeean hand must be protected.
So for the rupture of NATO, I mean, it theoretically could, but I really don't see NATO walking out over Greenland either.
But for the sake of the community's most voted topic for our October community request, let's pressure test the scenario and see what winter capability, geography, and logistics actually say.
Community voting for videos. That's actually a really fucking cool idea. I kind of want to do that now.
Give the people what they want.
I have lost.
Give them Dawn of War 3.
Well, I think that could be actually kind of fun to ask chat exactly what they'd want to hear about. Yeah, that could be kind of cool. I like the idea. I have no idea how I would run that, but I was like, okay, there's going to be 500 different ideas, and then we're going to run a poll for 500 different ideas. There's a cool idea.
I'm Tuomas, a former officer in the Finnish Defense Forces, and this is part 1 of October's community-voted video.
Can confirm he's definitely Finnish, because that name, fucking Tuomas. I hate the Finns. Actually, I don't hate the Finns. I like the Finns better than the Swedes and the Danes, but I hate Finnish as a language. I'm pretty sure they made it up, and it's just an inside joke where they're just spitting random vowels at you and expecting you to be like, oh, that's a language.
Is it spelled like Thomas and just pronounced weird, or is it like just completely off base?
Oh, completely off base. It's got like several O's in it with weird dots in strange places and shit. Like, I'm pretty sure they just speak Swedish normally, and when somebody else is nearby, then they switch over to the gobbledygook.
It's a goddamn AD&D alignment language. Finnish.
Yes.
As the question was about Canada and Greenland, we'll focus on Greenland this week and do a Canada-specific video next week.
Oh, I kind of want to see that now. Could Canada resist the United States? Answer, no.
Let us, as any good war planner would, start with the map. Greenland is officially huge. Its coastline is carved by fjords. A vast glacier seats in the...
Actually, they're not fjords, okay? Fjords are technically sort of kind of unique to the Norwegian archipelago. I'm pretty sure, at least. Actually, now I'm interested. What is the fucking definition of fjord? Deep, small...
You can't tell me
I'm basically
fjords are
correct.
unique to Norway, though. Like,
No, not unique,
a long,
but
narrow... Okay.
it's pretty unique. Let's see. Svalbard, British Islands, Ireland, Greenland. Okay, Greenland has like 6 fjords. I can't. That's not dominated by fjords. It's fucking huge. It's a fake fjord country. I refuse to use my word to defend it. Not fjords. I don't like it.
The middle all year round, and the population could fit into a mid-sized European football stadium.
You probably could. I think the total population of Greenland is like 30,000 people or something.
Really? It's that low? I thought it was like more. Maybe I'm thinking of Iceland.
Iceland has a fair bit more people, but let me see here. Okay, there we go. So the total population of Greenland is 57,000 people. So, higher than I expected, but it's not a lot of people.
Yeah, 0.026 people per square kilometer. That's crazy.
Yeah.
There are only a handful of airfields that matter, a few usable deep water ports, and long, unforgiving distances between them. The weather isn't just cold, it is equipment-breaking cold, and generally there's a mean wind which quickly packs snow into your gear.
In Thule. Hold on, though. Like, because Greenland isn't actually that cold. By Norwegian standards, but okay, we're using Thule as an example here. So Thule, I'm pretty sure, is pretty much the northernmost airbase possible. Let me just double check that so I'm not completely speaking out of my ass, but yeah, it is. Okay, so see if we can find a picture that will actually load. Which I can't. There, so Thule Airport Base is like the furthest north airbase in damn near the world, probably. Maybe something in Alaska, but it is like really, really stupidly far north. But let me see here. Okay, yeah, here we go. So, yeah, weather in Greenland. Country low, 24 degrees. That's really not that bad. I mean, it's nippy, don't get me wrong, but I mean, even here, even at Thule, minus 20 to 25, that is not that bad.
I mean, okay, I'm like, this is more my American, I mean, as I've explained to you, Arch, I live in Le Gras from Red Dead Redemption 2, okay? So, like, anything that's below 50F, I don't even know what a Celsius is. Anything that's below 50F is, like, literal freezy hell for me, so, I don't know, but I think some people might disagree at the whole, that's not that bad, but...
Well, I'm saying not that bad is like equipment level. Like minus 20
sure.
sucks. Yeah. You're not going to want to be out in minus 20 for long. But equipment breaking? I feel like that's overselling it a little
100%.
bit. Because if that's equipment breaking, then let me tell you, Norway would be fucking indefensible. Minus 20? Let me see. What's the temperature right now? It's minus 18. Where I am in southern Norway right now. So I feel like that's maybe overstating it a bit, but... And that's in the far north as well.
Gear at least 9 months of the year, from the end of September to the end of May. Operationally, this...
Okay, September to May. Is there any way to, like, have this on a fucking, like, time zone? On like a yearly sun, moon, time zone, weather. Weather in Greenland, 16 locations. What was the one he brought up earlier? Okay, so the lowest temperature then is 29. Now that is pretty bad. That's almost 30 degrees minus. That sucks quite a lot. That might actually break something, I agree. But 20, that's fine. 8, that's not a problem. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Like 8 months out of the year, you can operate perfectly fine. And then you've got 4 months where, minus 29 in the and this is the extreme north as well.
Snow into your gear at least 9 months of the year, from the end of September to the end of May. Operationally, this means that an army not trained or equipped for cold weather fighting would struggle after just a few months in theater.
Now that is true. If you have no idea how to fight in winter environment, then you're going to be chilly after a couple months in the field.
The biggest issue for a weapons-heavy military like the US is that rubber hardens, batteries die, lubricants thicken, optics fog, and wind turns a routine lift into a horror show. A bit like during the Finnish winter, you don't choose your tempo in Greenland. The weather chooses it for you. Any attacker depends on a tiny number of runways and protected anchorages. And any defender, including the Danish special operators who use Greenland as their playground, knows exactly which ones those are.
Danish special operators? Who are we talking about here, then? Is it... Okay, so, my knowledge about the Danish military is a pinch limited because nobody cares about Denmark, not even the Danes do. But let's see here. So you have there we go. You've got the Joint Arctic Command, which they're not a special operations force as far as I'm aware. They're, search and rescue stuff. They're also supposed to be cooperating with the rest of the army and navy elements. So I don't know. I don't think they'd fit. Like these aren't deltas or anything.
Arch, quick question. Do you, how open is today's Saturday stream? Because Atari was talking about joining.
Sure, why not?
Okay.
You've got the Jaeger Corps, I'm pretty sure. They're actual special operators. Let me see if I can find... there we go. So the Jaeger Corps, like these are the Danish equivalent of special forces right here. And I'm sure they do train in Arctic environments, but I mean, not that much. Site training, pre-course, pre-training administration, patrol course, basic medical training, basic parachute weaving, combat swimming course, joint training, special force, commando specialkraft, time range battalion, Netherlands special operations regiment. Yeah, they don't look like they're like a specialized Arctic force either. The only thing I can think of that is like a specialized Arctic force, and we are using the term rather loosely, is the Dog Patrol. Which is these guys, the Serious Dog Sled Patrol. And I mean, technically they're a special operations unit, but literally there's 14 of them.
Maybe I'm just like dumb, but like, what does America even want? Like, okay, I know I'm dumb, but like, what does America even want from Greenland? Like, realistically,
Shits
is
and
it just like a
giggles.
trade line or something? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
It does.
So I don't think anyone actually knows.
Oh, that's weird.
Like anyone in Europe doesn't know. Also, hello. I popped in.
Well, no, like there are actually quite a lot of resources underneath the ice, which would be nice to have, and the Danes haven't done anything to exploit them, and America.
The thing
would
is, the
be
Danes isn't. Okay, here's the thing: the Danes they don't have the facilities or the money to actually extract or do anything with the land, so they just hold it as a namesake because they have it. So, but they can't really do anything with it because it costs too much, and just transporting like material over there, buying for it. It's like it's too much hassle to be worth it. That's why America feel like, oh, we're quite close. We have the money to facilitate this operations. So can we have it?
Yeah, I think that's the goal. It's like, okay, we can do all of that.
And then Europe, because I think Denmark's still part of the European Union, so they probably look at it and say, but it's part of our borders. You see the line.
And I mean, it is, but well, not they can defend it.
Yeah.
Because
Maybe
again,
we're entering some sort of like. Oh, sorry.
The closest thing I can think of a Arctic special operation force would be the Serious Dog Sled Patrol, and again, they're 14 dudes with 30 dogs. I mean, they're not. I think we're severely overestimating their capabilities here. If we're calling them special operators.
If you're going to Greenland, I think you're gonna worry more about the polar bears more than any armed forces you're gonna find.
Well, actually, and that is the reason, by the way, why they're armed with bolt-action rifles, American bolt-action rifles. So I saw this on Twitter as well. It's like, yeah, I'm with bolt-action rifle because they operate better in the Arctic. No, they fucking don't. That's a long-ass sliding bolt. That's pretty much the worst weapon you can bring in the Arctic, and it's going to require a fuck ton of lubricants and probably a special case to keep it warm as well. However, if you run into a fucking polar bear, you're gonna want the 308 Springfield to take the damn thing down. You're not gonna be engaging that with a pistol.
Part of me feel like they only can use that weapon as well because it's some regulation in European Union, I'm sure as well. They're not allowed to have specific weapons, and it's basically a hunting rifle because you can have a hunting license. Is quite often you can have it in Europe.
Well, it's not the weapon; it's the ammunition. They mention it here. They use armor-piercing bullets, and they use hollow points, which are illegal according to the Geneva Convention. But again, a fucking polar bear's charging your ass. He's not going to report you to the Geneva Convention.
Fair enough.
Polar bears are like the scariest type of bear. You know, like if it's like, oh, would you rather face a black bear, a grizzly bear, or a polar bear? It's like, yeah, no polar bear for me. Those things will just stalk you for like 1,000,000 miles and then just fucking kill you when you're sleeping. Like,
yes,
they're horrifying.
Because it's also the fact that polar bears are one of like only 3 species of animals that view humans as food. So,
Yep.
yeah. But yeah, no, this whole like special operations forces on Greenland, I don't know about that. I mean, the guy's a military officer in the Finnish army, so maybe he knows something I don't. But
Most American military gear would cease to work if it was deployed to Greenland, including the normal US service rifle and much of its most advanced military technology.
Sorry, what? Sorry,
I'm
what?
not sure about that one.
yeah, I'm not sure about that one either. Because okay, so they're rolling out the new MX Spear now, and I don't know about that one because I haven't looked into it. But their previous service rifle was basically just an HK-416, which is the exact same weapon that we use in the Norwegian military. Like, I don't know about that one. Yeah,
And,
I
like,
don't know
also
about that
feel
one.
if the U.S. is preparing to invade Greenland, just hypothetically, let's just say they're like, okay, we can't get it through a deal or whatever. We're going to prepare for an invasion. I'm pretty sure they can read the fucking temperature and prepare their equipment accordingly. And the idea that they somehow can't is that seems ridiculous to me.
Yeah, I mean, you could just bust out the old armories and issue everyone with fucking Springfields, I guess. But yeah, no, I'm fairly sure the SK-416 will operate just fine in these temperatures. So, okay, I don't know where that's coming from.
They ride into Greenland with the Middle Eastern gear, like the exact color scheme and everything.
Desert
Just
camo.
exactly the same. Yeah,
But
desert
honestly,
camo. Yeah.
Desert camo might
Well,
actually work
actually,
better than
yeah.
green camo.
You know, now that you mention it, yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Like the Abrams, Stryker, Bradley, and entire tubed artillery fleet.
Okay, no. Like, okay. I don't know about the Bradley and the Stryker because I haven't looked into those, but no bullshit. Okay, hold on. I know I have a fucking. You're gonna hear some Norwegian advertisement in the background here as I look for this. I've seen Abrams operating in Norway during. I have visually with my own eyes seen the Abrams operating in snow in Norway during cold response. Here's the fucking video, and this.
Slide on.
Yeah, like this
Oh,
this is an ancient fucking clip of one of the practices in Norway of the drifting fucking Abrams. Fuck you, the
It's
Abrams
like-
can't operate in Arctic environments.
I'm gonna say, do people understand that snow also exists in America as well? Quite
Yeah.
Well, yeah, exactly,
larger
like we
amounts
have
than
Alaska,
larger amounts than in
right?
Europe, because the Gulf Stream just melts it all away quite often in Sweden and other parts in Scandinavia.
And I mean, let's see here. Abrams, operational temperature. Okay, yeah, here. Like, so let's pause. They've done tests in Alaska.
Are you ready to rut this yellow mare's fluttery?
They've even
buttery
like gone through it. Well, like we had, we're doing a firmware and system issue where we weren't able to fire. So they've done tests in Alaska during the coldest part of the day at night,
trick or
specifically
treat?
to figure out if the tank can function and if it can't, what they need to fix. Like, I do not buy this idea that the Abrams is, and again, it's not even that fucking cold. Like, he showed the graph earlier, like 20 degrees. I refuse to believe the Abrams is just going to stop fucking working if the temperature drops beneath 20.
Ignorance slut.
I think the temperatures that think an Abrams would stop working is the type of temperature you would walk out and you would get frostbite within 10 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, if
That's
we're
kind of
starting to
level
hit
what we deal
like
with.
minus 30, minus 40, then okay, I can see it. But that only happened like 1 month of the year. So I don't know where he's getting this from, but I don't believe
Out of his
it.
ass, I reckoned.
Yeah, I do not believe that. Now the Bradley and the Stryker, I don't know. I haven't seen those operating in winter, but again, I've literally seen an Abrams with my own eyes during cold response.
Trick or
So
treat. Can I smell your feet?
I do not believe that for a second.
But we'll go over concrete examples of that a bit later in this
Okay. No, if he has an actual example, I'm willing to listen. So, okay.
episode.
Service
Now flip to the
guaranteed
politics and likelihood of the US actually going for an allied territory and wrecking its alliances beyond repair.
very low, to be fair. This is probably just the usual Trumpian fucking bloviating and asking for the world only to receive half of it.
Hey, you know, that's a good deal, though. Half the world for threatening people. Hey,
Are you
Yeah.
ready
I'd take
to ret
it,
this
but, you
yellow
know.
mare's fluttery buttery
Greenland
blood?
is part of the Kingdom of Denmark and inside NATO.
Actually, Greenland is part of the Kingdom of Norway, and they took it from us after we separated. Fuck them! But proceed.
Yeah, fuck the Danes.
A US assault would mean attacking a treaty ally, an Article 5 nightmare, a diplomatic shockwave, and a strategic own goal that shatters American alliances worldwide.
Again, if they have the balls to pull out, which...
As we covered in our episode recently on the actual strength of the US allies, it is quite clearly the second military power on the globe.
Oh yeah, the NATO is actually fucking huge. Like, if they were willing to fight together...
Yeah, but here's the thing: how good are the? Because EU, when it comes to like operating outside of European Union, how good are they at mobilizing, or actually have the capability of actually mobilizing anywhere outside? Because I don't think we do.
Not much, no. Like, we have
Because I would
some
say,
abilities.
how many resources would it take for us to move with like 10 tanks over to, let's say, Greenland?
Well, the problem is that normally when we're moving stuff, the Americans move it for us.
Yeah, exactly. Like you, all right. Let's wait. Hold up, America. Let's build some boats first. Like, can you hold up for like 10 years?
Imagine asking America to move the military operations so they could then fight them. Like, just
Trick or treat.
it'd be the only
Sit on
possible.
your feet.
You probably build some to spawn camp immediately. In the meantime, you say, sure, why not?
Because we have some of our own stuff. Like, we've got the fucking huge-ass American Hercules transport plane. We've got a handful of those. Yeah, we've got 5 of those. And a few more, 6 more of the smaller ones. So we have some, but, I mean... We're not moving much with 5 transport planes. But, you know, in theory...
Commission as well.
I kind of get the vibe that, like, when Trump does something, like, big in the political space, people will, like, actively try
I have
and,
lost.
like, twist logic to just oppose him in any frame. And I think I feel that that's like, and again, this is like the beginning of the video, so maybe I'm wrong, but I feel that this is kind of even what he's doing here, especially just like considering the whole like, oh, America's risking isolation, right? Like they can't even operate in the cold, right? Just ignoring like just basic
Right.
facts.
Yeah,
I
'cause
don't know.
If America goes in isolation, Europe fucked. Europe just fucked in that case. Like overall, at least for like a few years in that case, because we do still get a lot of things from America. A lot of world countries rely on American imports still, and that's what I think a lot of people don't really understand a lot. That this is the same issue they have with Putin when the whole thing there happened. I don't think a lot of politicians, especially in Europe, only thinks 4 years ahead, or just during their time they were like as a career wise.
Yeah, if that much.
Also, I don't
Yeah,
want to
like
be
they are
like,
just career politicians.
I don't want to be that person, but the arrow saying no pushovers pointing to fucking Canada and like the UK and shit is it's very amusing to me.
Like I used to think like a lot of countries outside are just all bark no bite, and Trump is willing to bite, and all of them are just expecting to everyone's playing ball and not biting. So all of them are sitting there wondering, well, what do we do now? We're not actually going to stop him. We're just going to bark at him, hope he doesn't.
Oh, and look, there's my favorite furry, Sky the Gunfox. He's my favorite furry because he gives me money. Yes, the US Army has specific Arctic and mountain warfare units. It wouldn't be a problem, and I can say from experience that any infantry division could adopt if needed. Cold will not stop the hate and caffeine-fueled machine. Furcon Fund. Yeah, no, I don't. I think he's exaggerating, but he said he's been going to have specific examples, so we'll see.
That is why I call this scenario unlikely. But unlikely doesn't mean uninteresting, because it exposes the physics that decide Arctic campaigns and winter warfare, a topic I've trained soldiers in for decades now. Logistics, weather discipline, and winter...
I do love how we are including fucking Australia, the Philippines, Japan, and Korea in this. I don't know if they'll show up for Greenland, but
skills.
I would love
Those
to
factors
see Australia just coming in. How? It's like, how long of a campaign is to just mobilize the
Don't
Greenland?
care how big your defense budget is. Try asking Stalin how that worked in my own Finland in 1939.
yeah, he fucking beat the shit out of you and you had to give up a solid portion of your country. I know, you Finns are proud of how much damage you did to the fucking Red Army at the most basic level of its commissar-inflicted hellish self, but Finland, seriously. The majority of those casualties were inflicted by the fucking Soviets to themselves.
Yes. Also, I'm gonna say the Soviets. There's a famous part in Sweden that's known for being bombed by the Soviets, and they were actually trying to bomb Helsingfors, which is the capital. But however, they did not notice they passed over the Baltic Ocean and just bombed the wrong city.
And again, don't get me wrong, the Finns did indeed do something amazing, holding off the Soviets for as long as they did, but I don't think this is comparable.
Winter
I know,
capability
it's-
is where Europe, especially the Nordics, Baltics, and British, quietly shines.
Yeah, I was about to say Europe. No, what you mean is Scandinavia shines. I don't. And the Baltics? I don't know about that either, but yeah, no, they're. Yeah.
Norway, Sweden, Finland, and to a lesser extent Denmark, train to fight in snow, darkness, and deep cold
I do love how he goes like, to a lesser extent, Denmark. Yes, correct. To a lesser extent, Denmark. So our basic premise here is that Norway and Sweden will go like, oh yeah, we're going to defend Denmark.
You funny, funny man. Of course.
several months every year. They practice ski-borne infantry movement, over-snow mobility with BV series carriers and snowmobiles, Arctic casualty care, camouflage in whiteout conditions, and the kind of small unit fieldcraft that keeps people alive at -30. The UK, Netherlands, Germany, France, and others also send units north for winter warfare rotations every year.
Yeah, but so does America. Because what he's talking about here is the cold response, which we have. It's not every year; it's every other year, or maybe we have a different training the other year. But we have cold response, and America is a part of cold response. So, by this logic, America should have all of this knowledge too, right?
Building
Also,
a shared place.
Wouldn't thermal imaging be? I'm not sure if it'd be easier or more difficult in like snowy weather, right? But like I feel like especially in like in a really cold place, like your face would just light up some like thermal imaging on a drone or something, and then it's just boom, you're dead.
Oh, thermal imaging is fucking nightmarish. Okay, if you start reading up on what thermals do, you start realizing that in modern war, you're just dead. You're just fucking dead, okay? A drone can see you from 1,000 meters up in the sky like a glowing fucking candle. It's insane how good thermals are.
Yeah, I was watching some Ukraine like footage stuff, and a lot of people were saying basically like the whole thing is more about like keeping yourself hidden from like drones so they don't just instantly tag you in thermals, right? Because like if you have your phone out and your phone's in like the wrong mode, like you can literally just reveal your entire
Service
squad and just get everyone killed.
citizenship.
Like
Yes.
it's actually kind of absurd.
Like, and the thing too is, thermals, like, it's not just seeing you, but if you're moving through the snow, you leave trace heat in the snow that can be seen. Like, thermals are awful. Like, they're one of those things that you do not want to go to war anymore. Like, as an infantryman, you're just fucking meat.
Yeah, because like that's like because he's talking about Arctic stuff. He's talking about all this like infantry tactics and everything. But like, what's stopping like drone warfare, bombings, right? Anything like that, stuff that doesn't actually necessarily require an infantryman to like trudge the snow. Like, what's stopping, the U.S. from sending way more drones than Greenland could ever produce, and just killing all the infantry?
Mostly, I would think the cold would be a bitch here, because drones are electronic, and batteries do not enjoy cold temperatures like that. But, thermals are monstrous. We have started working on anti-thermal suits. I know Ukraine has been running experiments on this, which have been relatively successful. where you can actually see the difference. Where you've got a guy standing right there, and he's basically invisible on the thermals. The drawback is that you're going to be kind of visible in many other ways, and they're fucking huge, and they're basically nuclear fucking suits to keep all of your heat inside, and they're going to be hilariously uncomfortable. But considering how effective thermals have become, this is probably the future.
Playbook: short, sharp movements between hardened bivouacs, fuel and battery management, cold weather marksmanship, and keeping drones and optics working when most electronics want to die. This culture of winter soldiering matters more than shiny kit. It shows up in the boring routines: how you dry socks, how you pack a bulk sled, how you rotate sentries so no one freezes, and in particular how to tire out and isolate your enemy by using the elements. First, let's look at what kind of Arctic capability the opposing sides would have in such a scenario.
And hey, I get his argument here, but I'm also sitting here wondering, like, are we thinking there's actually going to be like a ground war on Greenland? Because well, first we'd have to transport European troops to Greenland. Then America would have to be like, oh yeah, you can keep supplying them. We're not going to blockade you. That'd be mean. And then the Americans need to deploy their own military on Greenland, travel a few thousand kilometers to the other side of Greenland, and be like, okay.
If I were to good faith Gary this video, like I'd assume his point is like, oh, like what if this happened, right? And that's like the point of the video, not like, is it possible? Like, oh, what if the America decided to invade Greenland, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
In a scenario where the rest of NATO had to defend Greenland, or even consider operations in extreme Arctic conditions, the balance of true winter capability between Europe, Canada, and the United States would matter more than almost anything else. And here, Europe and Canada have a clear edge. Across the Nordic region, winter warfare isn't an afterthought. It's the foundation of military training. Between national Arctic brigades, reserve formations, and large-scale NATO exercises like Cold Response and Nordic Response, Europe can field 80 to 120,000 active-duty troops with recent, full-spectrum Arctic and sub-Arctic training.
Scandinavia can field 80 to 120,000 Europe troops, you mean? But yeah, I get the point.
Finland alone contributes a huge portion of that total. Around 24,000 active troops and a wartime reserve exceeding 250,000, almost all trained to operate, move, and fight in snow and temperatures down to minus 30 or 40.
Now, this is true, yes. Like, the Scandinavian countries do genuinely have an extensive training in operating in exactly this kind of environment.
Sweden and Norway add several tens of thousands more through elite Arctic units, Sweden's K4 battalion in Norland and Norway's Arctic Brigade, as well as annual cold weather rotations that push much of their professional armies through sub-zero field conditions. The United Kingdom, Netherlands, Germany, Poland, Italy, and France all run specialized winter and alpine elements that cycle through the same demanding Nordic courses each year.
But so does the Americans. I don't know why he's not mentioning that. Like, we invite the Americans. We train the Americans.
We've got over half a video. Maybe he'll give America a bone. I don't know.
I don't have faith.
And that's before we mention how Norway's special operators host allied special teams for Arctic war games every year, where stories of them handing tough lessons to visiting elite US units are, let's just say, not uncommon.
To every one of them. Our special operators are actually fucking good, especially when we're, literally on our home turf.
Canada adds another strong component. The Canadian Rangers, a lightly equipped but locally rooted force of over 5,600 personnel, act as the permanent eyes and ears of the Canadian military in the far north.
Yeah, but Canada's not going to fight in this war. Are you fucking kidding me? Canada shares a land border with America. It's going to go like, America, can we send troops to fight you in Greenland? No.
I like just the idea of America just being just no, and Canada's all right then. Like it just stops immediately.
I feel like the meme Denmark saying we'll stand up, we all will stand up against you, while everyone here just take one step back, say, no, not me.
Yeah, I feel like, if anything, this will be Europe, like Germany and France looking up at Norway and Sweden going, would you like to mobilize your entire military to go to Greenland?
How about now?
Are you ready to rut this yellow?
They're backed by 4 Arctic Response Company groups, each around 150 troops.
Also, hold on, yet again. Earlier on, he said that all of the American tube artillery would be useless. That's an American fucking howitzer!
Fire is the answer.
Never mind.
Around 150 troops, which train specifically for operations in frozen environments. When you factor in regular rotation,
That's an American fucking law launcher.
He keeps saying they are used to be operate in frozen environment. No, I think a lot of these things, at least the Sweden producers, are just meant to be operational overall. And they are just, all the videos are just showing they're using them during winter because it's a good time of year where you can just do it because you can see a lot of things usually, or like that's when you.
like Operation
that's
Nunavut and Arctic Bison, Canada can deploy somewhere between 6,000 and 8,000 Arctic trained personnel on relatively short notice, and scale that further through rotations of regular infantry trained in winter warfare. By contrast, the United States has made some strides in rebuilding its Arctic readiness in recent years, but it's still catching up. Its main Arctic formation is the 11th Airborne Division based in Alaska, numbering roughly 10,000 to 12,000 soldiers, supported by the Northern Warfare Training Center near Fairbanks. When you add the Marine Corps Mountain Warfare Training Center in Bridgeport, California, and special operations courses in cold environments like Kodiak, Alaska, the total rises to about 15,000 to 25,000 US troops with active Arctic or deep winter qualifications. That's still significantly fewer than Europe and Canada combined.
I mean, true, but firstly, you can just take the Canadian number out there right away. That's not going to happen. And secondly, like the numbers you're talking about is basically our entire military.
Versus the Alaska.
We're not going to send our whole fucking army to Greenland. And again, like the difference is when he's saying like Norway's like this is. So you take away the 20,000 from Canada, just gone. Then you've got the 100,000 remaining, which is basically the entire army of Norway, Finland, and Sweden, and probably Denmark too, against literally 2 divisions of the US Army. It's like, yes, if we gang up 4 countries against 2 divisions, then it looks silly, but somehow I don't think that's how it's going to work.
Though the US has the logistics muscle and airlift to move faster once it's on the ground. Where European and Canadian forces really pull ahead is in kit that actually works in Greenland-grade cold. Across NATO minus the US, there are about 2,000 articulated over-snow carriers, mainly Swedish-made varying BV models that float over deep snow and keep running at minus 40.
Now, here he is actually correct. So the Bandwagen. Bandwagen? Sweet, pronounced Bandwagen. Bandwagen.
Bandwagen.
Bandwagen.
Yes.
There you go. But no, this is a really fucking cute vehicle, which, oh, there we go. It's fucking adorable. I love it. Look at it.
I've seen them a lot in Sweden just roaming about. They are a little cute, but I always feel like they look like tiny little dwarf cars.
Looks like something you'd see in a Black Ops 1 winter map.
Yeah, no, they're cute as shit. I love them.
They're very squatty looking.
But they are actually really good because the reason why they've got the 2 cars is because you've basically got the drivetrain in the rear car and then you've got the troop compartment in the forward. And because it's articulated, like the movement, it can go up and down irrespective of either part of it. So it doesn't get stuck like ever. It's got huge traction. It can go over deep rivets, etc. It's got fantastic all-terrain capabilities and it distributes its weight evenly so it doesn't bury itself in the snow. It's a really cool little thing.
In service or serviceable storage. The US, by contrast, fields under 300, including its new BVS-10 buy, which hasn't yet arrived.
I feel like that might be enough, though, honestly, but...
It's the same story with light mobility. Europe and Canada together run roughly 10,000 to 14,000 military-heavy snow scooters across the Nordics, France, Italy, Germany, Canada, and the Baltics.
Hold on. Military-heavy snow scooters. Is it just me or does that sound like a bullshit term?
I don't know. It sounds like something from Halo. I don't know.
I'm detecting a lot of hopium from this, or perhaps copium from this video. Like, it's one of those things where I find it, I don't know, just kind of odd that he, like the videographer, shall we say, is going under the impression that the U.S. will just not prepare for winter at all if it actually decides to invade a completely winterized region. You know, it I don't know. It's just kind of like, it's like, well, yeah, you'd think they'd probably just prepare because they have way more resources than Finland to be able to like field more vehicles and shit. Like, you know, because they got Alaska, they got the mountains. You know, like, why wouldn't they just make more?
Give him time. He might talk about that, but
Okay.
the term military heavy snow scooter sounds like bullshit to me. So I'm trying to look up. Let's see. I can't even find a listing for snow scooter on the list of Finnish army equipment.
I think you just a repurposed snow scooter, Arch.
Yeah, because I know the scooters we use in the Norwegian military, and it's literally just a civilian scooter. But okay, I for a list of equipment of Finnish army. The only example of snow I find is snowplow on a tractor.
Oh.
But the one we use in the Norwegian army it's literally this. It's just a snow scooter.
Yeah, it's just a repurposed snow scooter.
Yeah, I don't know what makes this heavy or military. I think this one is Finnish. That's the Finnish Arundel right there, right?
Yeah, maybe.
I think so. White outer, blue inner.
Perhaps.
Yeah, because no, this is definitely a Finnish snow scooter.
No, that is Finnish.
Yeah,
Finnish
this is the
heavy
heavy military snow scooter. It's just a scooter. I'm pretty sure if America doesn't have enough of them, they could literally just buy someone from the fucking sporting goods store.
All right, let's go to Dick's Sporting Goods. We got a war to win.
Literally.
Buy 'em up.
While US forces operate a few hundred for Alaska, mountain warfare, and special operations rotations.
And I mean, again, yeah, sure, but I'm pretty sure they could buy these literally from sporting goods stores.
In terrain where trucks or even light armored vehicles bog down, those numbers translate directly into an issue that is hard to overlook for any war planner. The same logic applies to armor and artillery, only fleets that actually run in deep cold count. Think CV-90, Norway and Finland's Leopard 2, Patria carriers, Sweden's Stridsvagn, Canada's LAV-6. All of them run with real winter modifications, external engine heaters, low-temperature lubricants, wider shoes and tracks, and Arctic maintenance kits. Norway and Sweden even field CV-90 variants tuned specifically for snow. Add those winter variants up and you get the picture. Across NATO without the United States, there are 300 to 500 cold-weather modified modern tanks, about 600 to 1,000 winterized infantry fighting vehicles, and well over 1,000 Patria variants made in Poland and Finland that can operate in extreme cold.
So I can't actually hear what he's saying, but the Patria variant, I have no fucking clue what that is. But the CV-90, I do know. The CV-90 is a fantastic IFV that has unfortunately been invented by the filthy, dirty Swedes. That's the only mar in its other excellent reputation.
They make some pretty cute stuff.
But again, this returns to the Abram. Like, I call complete bullshit on the Abram not being able to operate in cold environments. And it's like, our Leopard tanks, they're just German tanks. I'm pretty sure the Americans have figured this shit out too, especially as we've already looked at. They've done cold weather testing in Alaska, which, how fucking cold is Alaska?
Pretty goddamn cold.
Let's see.
My best friend from high school was deployed there for many years.
Trick or treat.
There we go. So, Alaska. Alaska is as cold, if not significantly colder, than Greenland. In fact, it is. Like, okay, so the temperature here is 31, whereas the lowest here is 24. So if they can make the Abrams work in Alaska, I'm fairly confident they can make it work in Greenland too.
By contrast, the US Army has no armored brigades permanently based in the Arctic. Abrams, Strykers, and Bradleys can be winter kitted with a lot of work, but the number of fully cold weather packaged armor sets ready for sustained Arctic ops is tiny compared to Europe's capability in this area. We're talking a few hundred in total.
All right, but they could surely just convert more if we're assuming that this idiotic idea of a land war on Greenland is going to kick off. I'm pretty sure.
What is Greenland's response to an aircraft carrier?
Nothing?
Yeah, well, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Shoot and pray and hope you roll a 20 times over.
I'm pretty sure like military dominance is kind of defined by naval and air power in this day and age. I'm not like a military expert or nothing, right? But like the time of the infantrymen, that's like World War II, right? We're kind of past that point.
The problem is that pretty much all of the like ports are on the America-facing side. So any reinforcements from Europe would need to sail via Iceland to this one port here, I guess, which is a river port, so not even a container terminal, and unload. And that's assuming they can get past Iceland, which Iceland's largest military base, I'm pretty sure, is American. Like, I would imagine if the Americans wanted to take Iceland, they'd just place a navy right here and be like, okay, what are you going to do about it?
Yeah, and I mean, Marco Genovese makes a great point. I don't understand the point of land warfare when all Greenland cities are on the coast. Exactly.
Yeah, so you'd have to basically waffle out in the middle of all of this because I don't know. I mean, the only thing, like, so these are already all, like, I'm pretty sure, in fact, some of these are straight up American bases because the Thule base is there. But, okay, so you've got all of this on the American side. So you've got navies covering all of this. Surely you just invade Armasalik and then you're done, right? What's Europe going to do? Are they going to land troops in northern Greenland on the ice and supply them, build mulberry harbors?
It's the coughing baby versus the hydrogen bomb. When you factor in naval power.
But in the end of the day, I'm like, what are you fighting for? Like, what's at stake here?
Yeah,
I don't think it's worth it. It's not even worthwhile sending one tank there, I think.
we're only halfway through this.
And the knowledge base within the US military to perform this sort of retrofitting
maybe
is likely just as small, after 70 years of mainly fighting in warmer climates. At least for now, if winter warfare broke out in the North Atlantic or Arctic, say in Greenland or the Norwegian Sea, the majority of troops who could move, fight, and survive there on short notice would still come from Europe and Canada. They've lived, trained, and fought in the cold for decades, and the equipment they use, from snowmobiles to over-snow carriers, is battle-tested and outsizes the US capability in the same department at least tenfold. So while the US would bring unmatched naval firepower and fair-weather air dominance to any defenders of Greenland, it's the Europeans and Canadians who would likely do most of the actual fighting on the ground in Arctic conditions. And that makes sense. This is their environment. They've trained for it, built vehicles for it, and can survive in it without needing massive energy inputs or specialized infrastructure. In simple terms, the US can likely cover the whole island in bombs, but the Northern Europeans and Canadians can stay there. Add to this the immense issue.
I mean, kind of, but we're gonna need food. We're gonna need to ship that in. Somehow I don't think there's gonna be a lot of, bountiful fields of wheat on Greenland.
Issues the US is currently facing in its sea lift capabilities in comparison to Europe's quite massive civilian freight and sea lift fleet, and you'd be hard-placed to see the US winning a protracted logistical war.
By sinking the boats? I imagine sinking the boats will help.
So how would a fight look if someone forced this scenario? An American operation would likely depend on securing a small number of locations quickly, airfields and nearby harbors, then rushing in engineers, fuel, de-icing, shelters, and air defenses to keep the bridgeheads alive. That initial lift is vulnerable to timing. A 2-day storm window can close the sky, scatter ships, and leave air assault elements thin and isolated. It could likely use Pitufik Air Base as a forward operating base, but it is important to note that getting to and from this airbase over land is only possible with normal transport about 3 months of the
Are
year,
you ready
and going
to
from
run
it to
this
the more
yellow
populated
mare's
areas down
fluttery,
south,
buttery
overland,
butt?
is a nigh on impossible task without the proper gear.
Okay, so step 1, America seizes all of the ports, except for this one. And this
And
is
sues for
vulnerable.
peace.
Okay, so vulnerable, right. I get his argument, but vulnerable
Fire is
to
the
what
answer.
is the next question.
A European-Canadian defense would exploit that. You don't try to meet the US in a fair-weather set piece where its air force and carrier groups would decimate a defense. You make every landing zone a maintenance problem and every approach costly. You create white noise with decoys, radar reflectors, and heat sources in the wrong areas. You lay mines and sensor grids on the few viable taxiways. You combine long-range fires with small Arctic patrols, like that of the Danish Special Ops Team, permanently on the island aptly named the Sirius Patrol.
Again, hold the fuck up here. I don't know. All right, so
Special
one.
Patrol's gotta be for James Bond level. Holy shit.
Again, one here. Canada's not going to help you. Like, Jesus Christ. Canada's
I
not
like when people make these when they make these arguments like, oh yeah, everyone just unanimously just decides to go against America. and
Yeah,
go
I
through
saw
with
a
it.
picture of the South Korean flag. Like, South Korea just, like, removes all of its defenses against North Korea and just goes to help this fucking one-off war. For, like, no reason. Like,
And as I mentioned previously, like he's mentioning the Serious Dog Patrol like they're like special operation troops ready to fight a guerrilla war against the Americans. There's 14 of them. Jesus, fuck. Like, what, you're going to station
gosh.
one of
That's a
them
lie.
at every
They got
port?
dogs as well.
Oh, that's true. Okay, so they can man half the ports with Danes, and the rest will be protected by the dogs, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah, there you
Wolf
go.
Patrol. Wolf Patrol.
They have
Like-
titanium teeth that can rip apart cold tanks. You don't get it.
Don't get me wrong, I'd love to watch a movie about 14 fucking Rambos defeating the evil empire, but I don't think that's a reasonable expectation to have.
I just want Denmark to go through with it and just get humbled so hard that they just give up on the spot as soon as the ships come by the shoreline.
I mean, Chad has a good point. If they're 14 Space Marines, yeah, sure, but
Paw
Oh.
Patrol. Now it's serious.
unless the Danes have hidden some serious fucking power armor tech, I don't see it.
That can move on skis, behind dog sleds and snowmobiles, living off caches, and hitting fuel depots and power units rather than chasing US units in the open.
Oh, yes. Well, I mean, I agree. It would be better for the 14 men and the 30 dogs to hit supply depots rather than engage divisions of the US Army head on. But I feel you're expecting a lot out of these guys.
Sir,
Denmark's-
the dog sledding team, they're riding down the hill. All right, aim, fire. All right, they're gone. All right, let's keep going.
Recent cooperation with Ukraine likely means that it has access to non-electrical powered drones capable of knocking out the 4 diesel generators, keeping Pitufik warm. Without the necessary heating, the issues US troops had with the weather in Vietnam would seem like a dream when the temperatures drop below freezing in August. Maritime operations are no easier. Ice and distance punish large surface groups. Submarines and long-range patrol aircraft still matter, but the fight narrows to a few usable approaches and anchorages. A defender does not need to sink everything. It only needs to make replenishment uncertain, slow, and costly. That forces an attacker to bring ice-capable escorts, more tankers, more de-icing agents, more of everything.
But surely this is the same for the Europeans. Like, okay, if we only have a few possible approaches, couldn't the US just dump a carrier group on each of them and laugh? I mean, okay, icebreakers. Icebreakers is an interesting point because, of course, you could potentially like go far north and then kind of like break down the coast there, but and that would avoid most of the US Navy. You'd still be sunk by submarines who could hear you cracking the ice from 5,000 kilometers away, but okay, so there is at least a way to resuplenish, so that's something.
As we say in the Finnish army, winter logistics scale badly. A drum of fuel in winter is heavier in effort than it is in kilograms. It needs heated storage, careful handling, and a clean supply chain of winter-capable pumps, hoses, and couplings that will not crack in minus 40 degrees Celsius. Many recruits in the Nordic armies learned this the hard way. One slip in preparation can ruin an operation. In Europe plus Canada, the ice-capable inventory is again much larger than the American inventory. Norway fields 4 Arctic-capable patrol vessels, 1 Svalbard-class ice-breaking, and 3 Jan Mayen-class ice-strengthened patrol ships. Finland now brings 7 ice-capable ships, including NATO's foremost icebreaker production knowledge. Sweden brings 5, Canada brings 9, and is expanding further. The United
Again, Canadians are not going to fucking help you, but never mind.
Kingdom contribution is niche, but useful with HMS Protector. The Baltic states add capacity at the margins. Latvia has one. Estonia has one. The Netherlands adds one as well. Most of Greenland's ports freeze over in around November, and to be able to get anywhere close to land, you're very dependent on this ability. The US, for its part, only has 2 capable icebreakers, though they have recently signed a deal with Finland to create more, which would obviously be scrapped in such a scenario. So could the rest of NATO actually stop the US in Greenland? The blunt answer is that...
And also, okay, now that's a good point. Like, could they transport enough stuff? Now, firstly, I would think they would just use aircraft rather than fucking about with this shit, but okay. But no, America's going to need to supply, what was it, like 10, 20,000 troops? Wasn't that? Yeah. Whilst the Americans are going to need to supply, or the EU is going to need to supply 100,000. I don't see how the fuck you're going to do this with the US Navy bombing you every step of the way, but...
US in Greenland. The blunt answer is that stopping isn't the right lens. The US is a superpower with unrivaled global lift and strike capabilities. If Washington chose to batter its way into Greenland, it could seize air and sea bridgeheads and pour in force. The realistic question is whether the rest of NATO could make that choice politically impossible and operationally miserable, so costly, slow, and publicly self-defeating that the idea collapses under its own weight as opposition to US casualties generally makes them pull out of wars. The answer there is yes. In the
This is a
hate that
thin
thinking.
fucking justification.
I hate that type of thinking in these scenarios.
So the answer is, yeah, no, America would just take it. But hold on, if we sacrifice the entirety of the US, the entirety of the Norwegian, Swedish, and Finnish armies, we could make the Americans miserable. Okay.
That is legitimately the idea that NATO has when it came to, like, even when it came with
Are
the
you
Putin and
ready to wreck
the
this
like
yellow
Ukraine
mare's
war as well. They
flutter
had the same kind of
flutter
idea as well. That's the same strategy all the time. It's 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 too common. I hate when I hear it because
Service guarantees.
and no one's a winner in the end. And there's better ways to deal with this.
Arctic, a capable defender with winter skills, doesn't need parity in tonnage, missiles, or fancy aircraft carriers. It needs to deny tempo, complicate sustainment, and wait for the attacker's maintenance and morale curves to dip below the red line after the brief 3 months of degrees above freezing are over. There's also the alliance dimension. NATO's strength isn't any single army, it's the habit of acting together. An American assault on Danish territory would snap that habit. European publics would rally to Denmark. Canada would be in an impossible position politically and strategically, and that
and they wouldn't do shit.
tension alone shows why the scenario is so unlikely. Deterrence here is partly moral and legal, but it's also practical. Every US planner understands that fighting the weather and your own alliance at the same time is a losing proposition. As promised, next week we'll move to the people who currently lives above the noisy neighbors.
Okay, so this was just copium, in my opinion. This is actually just copium, and it ends with basically going like, if we're willing to commit massive forces to defend Greenland, and somehow the Americans don't just sink our boats while we try to feed them, then we could make the occupation annoying for the Americans.
If the American let us play ball, we might have a chance.
So, I want to say too, I didn't even pick this video. I was suggested this video on Twitter from a guy who was like, "This proves you're wrong," and I was like, "Okay, cool, let's let's watch it."
That's so funny. Oh my gosh, I love self-aggrandizing people who are just like, dude, this video proves you wrong, and there's just like
Also-
so many fucking clear holes in it. That's so fucking.
I want to
funny.
point out, the entire Swedish army is like is just built for home defense. There's no thing of people like deployed have a large deployment. That's not a thing in Sweden doctrine. It's just home defense. I don't know what they're on about.
Like, we do have a part of our army that's like
Ignorant
designed to go
slut.
other places, but it's a brigade.
It's tiny. Same thing in Sweden. We have, like, as you say, like, I don't know if how large it is, but it's minuscule. Because there's no point to it. Because it's
guarantees
a lot of
citizenship.
people just they don't invest in it. America has invested in it. They have invested in it for a lot of years, like to have these kind of things already up and going. Europe does not.
Are you ready to rut this yellow mare's fluttery?
So no,
buttery
Chad, I take no responsibility for the silliness of this video. I was told it proved me wrong, and I was willing to listen.
Well, Arch, I think we can say with confidence that you were proved wrong. I am literally shaking right now. Millions must die. I mean, it's over. It's Jover for me, okay?
But you wanted to watch the video, chat. We watched the video. I take no
To be fair, I
responsibility.
also voted yes on the video because you're just video, and I'm like, yes. How bad can it be?
Yeah.
I feel encouraged to just say to laugh at the Danes when they lose a well plot of land they have no money, no plans to do anything with.
Fucking the chat. I disavow this video. Boo, hiss, hiss, boo.
Hiss,
I
hiss.
disavow.
Okay, let me do the super chats then too. Manga 2, Pocus, chastise Arch for he decimalizes the currency whenever he runs a Warhammer Fantasy campaign. The horror. But that's good though. They should decimalize it. Otherwise they will never learn how decimals work.
Just go. Wait. Oh, I read that as decimated. Oh my gosh. That's. Why do you. There's no reason to decimalize the Warhammer currency system.
There is.
I
They've
don't-
got to pay attention or fuck them.
Okay, but like I don't think like a peasant who doesn't know how to read, like if you're playing that, right? Like they're not gonna even know what the fuck a decimal is. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Not too fucking bad.
Maybe that's why he's a peasant.
oh my gosh.
Tanushi, the left does everything they can to delegitimize ICE by minimizing their professionalism in conduit and their training, which really is too short. I mean, all American fucking law enforcement training is too goddamn short. I mean, on that, I agree.
Guarantees citizenship.
River knows. Channel Angry Cops did a great breakdown of the shoot. He's an active duty cop and knows how the law works, as well as know how the dudes are trained. I should have watched that instead, I guess. Trollberg, officer that is involved in shooting has to leave so they don't alter the crime scene, unless there's no other officer. That's a good point too. The Sober Viking, remember a man was released off... Stop doing that. Of all charges because the man he stepped called him the N-word after he got stabbed. Well, I mean, listen, you're not supposed to say mean words. Riberia for $20 or 200 Swedish kroners. Hey Art, please check out my book instead of the bad bull milking one. It's going on sale soon. It's called Liquor Street Stores. Is it about licking streets and stores? Pickle Father Nurgle for the Pokemon lady. Ah, Pokemon lady. Team Rocket, I suppose, yes. Suckdog. Reminder, they're demons pretending to be aliens. Nicholas, Arch, don't let the Black Einstein hear you say that. Richard this previous chat and member donor for not for broadcast. We shall note that down. Chicador sent 5 gift membership. Thank you. Marine Alpha, can we get the ArchCast in thermal? All for Dawn of War. No, because that means I'd have to buy something with thermals inside of it, which sounds annoying. Yeah, largely just annoying. Pickle Father Nurgle, this is what happens when you don't read Super Chats for legal reasons. For legal reasons. Enigma, whose starts a year like this? I just sat down. Listen. We all thought, erroneously, that the last year was the worst year, and so this year is proving us wrong.
He always does. Always will.
Jay McWild for 500 warp tokens regarding the Minnesota situation. The bitch and her swarm was impeding law enforcement. The moment she put her foot on the trigger, she forfeited her life. I mean, as a result... Siegfried von Felsenbrot, if the Maduro black bagging is mission number 1 in the VTM campaign, is the George Floyd event going to be mission number 2? No, actually not. But there will be a black bagging in the first episode. Soroka, oh wow, I'm still alive in 2026. Only for now. Don't count on it continuing.
I plan on living forever.
Mechanics on duty. Clearly, God got tired of all these people saying nothing ever happens. Darkwood. That's true. Like, you think you live in a time of peace and stability? No. Marine Alva, can't wait for the COVID-25 lockdowns. I mean, I don't know. A few years of lockdown would make everything more peaceful.
Shit.
Martinez, where's Lum? When will the new vampire campaign start? Have you kicked Dev from it yet? Yes, and yes. Dark Resurrect, Bart, the Lum replacement keeps decreasing in volume the longer she speaks. It's like her audio is fine and slowly gets quieter as she talks.
I'm sorry. That was the automatic gain control. Hopefully it's fixed by now. If it's not, well, I don't know what to say. I tried 20
She's slowly being pulled into the warp, guys. Don't worry.
Yeah. Just, I'm just getting dragged in there.
Sujard, a friend of Walls who owns a local paper, revealed that the ICE who shot the brainlet Karen had been dragged for hundreds of yards or meters by another leftist activist. Yes, that was the thing we mentioned. That was indeed confirmed, which again is why he was a little bit twitchy. Enigma, is it 2026 or COD Black Ops? A little bit of both. Oh, stop scrolling, YouTube. Why do you do this to me? You changed my fucking language to Norwegian for no particular reason, but you can't keep your fucking thing straight. Waman 13 Art. The Delta did not use the XM7. They used M4s. Ugri. Also, they're exceptional. Marksman. Ugri. I'm assuming the Ugris are misspelled something, or alternatively, he just makes that noise occasionally. Middle sentence. Ugri. Gingwin, literally Imperial Guard versus PDF. Pretty much. Wesson, attempted invasion of Taiwan, Arch. Attempted invasion. We need to play that scenario in Command Modern Operations again, where I kill Taiwan with China. Tunushi, China losing Venezuela in Iranian oil would push forward the Chinese takeover or vassalization of Russia. God, that would be really funny. If China invades Russia right now, that would be the best surprise Pikachu face moment fucking ever. Just one day for no reason, they just start rolling over the border. Like, they're not gonna... even better. The way they're gonna justify it is like, the human rights abuses in Ukraine will end. I want them to sing loudly from the liberal hymn sheet that they destroys Russia. Oh, that'd be funny. Sandoom, 200k for a bunker? Cheaper than a damn house. It is. Boog, whatever the next stage weapon is, it will somehow involve boiling water and making steam spin a wheel, because that's the only thing we know how to do.
It's so fucking unfortunately true.
It's worked
I
out
always
well
thought
so
nuclear
far.
power was like cool green rods doing some sort of magic bullshit, but no, it's all fucking steam water.
Yeah, it's boiling, boiling water.
I always love that Denmark is just, they keep saying, oh, we have invested them more than any other European country in wind power, and 50% of all is electricity just from Sweden. Just bought in. From a nuclear reactor, nonetheless. A singular one.
We need more nuclear reactors. Nuclear reactors are based.
Correct. We must boil more water. Oh, don't forget part of the opium trade was due to trying to get tea out of China at the time. That too. Jeebus Milk, I always thought the stuff against Dev was mainly just bad, so then he did every excuse not to go to the trucker protest and also released the anti-Trudeau video at the most effective time, halfway through the election day. Listen, we have said many bad words about Dev over the years, but his Trudeau... I yelled at him over the Trudeau video, because the worst part is Trudeau resigned like 2 weeks earlier. If if Dev had dumped that video like 3 weeks previously, he could have taken credit for making Trudeau fucking step down. It would have been bullshit, but he could have taken credit. And I told him, Dev, you could have deposed the dictator. And Dev's like, no.
It would have been funny.
What you missed. Reports the US force used strange weapons on Maduro guards that incapacitated them and made them cough up blood. Also, rip feet fish. Dead fish.
This
Dwalben.
is so sad.
If you call a man a monster enough for long enough, he will become the monster that you fear. We are in the middle of finding that out. Leo Wolf the Red, that Venezuelan account made it sound like it was the Raven God who nabbed Maduro. Plus, what could anyone even do to stop us from taking Greenland? As we realized from today's video, nothing. Marine Elva, if the EU need an army, it would just be NATO, with US, UK, and Canada leaving. Mans the Red, EU, we kicked out America, Russia invaded, EU, America, help! Now, luckily, at least, I don't think Russia is in a state to invade anyone, but, yeah. Kiki2, Norwegian is just Swedish with potatoes in mouth. That is true.
No, that is Denmark, yes.
No, it's Sweden too. Like, our word for strawberries, jordbär. Swedish word for strawberries, jordgubbar. Like, you literally just speak with your mouth full of things.
Nay, I don't think we do.
You do.
We speak, we speak very, we sing a lot when we speak, I think.
Singing is one word for it. You just speak as if your mouth is stuffed constantly. It's not good.
I don't know how many times you won Eurovision, Arch.
We sent a black guy once, he won, and then we sent a guy who sung about fairy tales.
Ah, that's fair.
One time we sent a man who sung about screaming pigs, and I don't think he won. But I liked the subject matter. Yeah. Enigma, have you seen Denmark history as a Dreamcast game? No. Is that a thing? Mallory, just make a deal with the US to let them build some bases on Greenland, but Meta Mink is probably too dense to think of that. Oh, they already are allowed to build as many bases as they want, though. Like, America can already do pretty much whatever they want on Greenland, it's just they can't take the pretty things underneath the ice, and Trump really wants the pretty things underneath the ice. Nicholas, he's talking about Frogmen's Korpse. I don't think so. So the Frogmen Corps is another part of the Danish Special Forces, but they're specifically designed to basically be like a mild knockoff Navy SEALs. I don't see why the fuck they would be in Greenland. That'd be weird. Oh, they were 11th Airborne as Arctic Specialists in Alaska. DeVillo, for 20. Greenland is one of the few places with relatively large amount of oil and valuable materials. Just underneath the ice. Cuban, 9-2. This is so far EU slopaganda on the level of Russians. I mean, I don't want to be harsh, because like the dude was an ex-military officer, so maybe he knows something I just don't, and I want to keep open to that, but it did sound like a lot of bullshit.
Arch, how often do you hear the news on your local television?
Too often.
Okay. Yeah, but you may, you know how bad it is when it comes to whenever you're going to talk about Trump.
I know, but I feel like the dude would have, learned something in the army. Unless he was one of those guys who he did the officer training course and then sat in an office for 3 or 4 years and then fucked off. In which case,
maybe they could have done lumpen, or what do you call that in English? It's basically you test train, or you have to do it when you get old enough, and when you go in the army and you used to train for it, and then you after 2 years you're allowed back to regular life.
Yeah, and they pay for your education. Oh, we have that thing over here too.
Yeah, I think that could have been it. Probably if I want to have it the lowest version of it, but I don't know.
DJ Phantom, why does every European and leftist forget about Alaska and we have bases there and train in the Arctic? I want to know how EU supply ships will run the gauntlet of submarines and carry air wings. Yeah, honestly, me too. Like, I imagine that an icebreaker makes a lot of noise when it's breaking ice. I feel as if this is a relatively safe assumption to make, which surely would make it very easy to spot and kill for a submarine. You'd think. Heat-seeking, this Euro is coping hard, ignoring the fact that America has Alaska. They know how to operate in the cold. 12 Doug, Abrams have terrible traction. Them drifting is not because they can, it's because we must. We drift because we must. I like that, though. That's funny.
Retreat.
That's next to one. Hey, ISIS here, drifting Abrams tanks. I hear Eurobeat intensify. Also, Looney. Be ready for my little puppy to make you cry. That's a weird fucking sentence. Alfred Drake.
Lumi's arch nemesis. Like secret evil, like self.
US Marine Corps lawyers found the loophole concerning hollow points. Oh, of course they did. Like they found a loophole about white phosphorus. Oh, it's just signal smoke, guys. Why is it coming out of that Arab dude's hut? Signaling.
Signaling the war crime.
We're just communicating with other people over there. Huh. Right.
Language is so beautiful.
And why exactly do you need tank signal rounds? You know, in case the radio breaks down. Ismail Thompson,
Really
Greenland
like to shoot the
offers the
banner.
US a staging ground and geopositioning against China. I mean, sort of. Kind of. But, like, there's not enough bases in Greenland to make it worth it strategically like that, I think. Raphael Illustra, we Americans have access to every probable climate environment we might deploy to, natively inside our own borders to train in. Naysayers don't quite understand what that means for our experience and logistics flexibility. I mean, hell, I agree. Marine Elva, Arch, why is Norway obsessed with the weather, as Met Norway is often the most accurate provider on my weather app? Because going outside is potentially life-threatening in Norway. So... Plus, like, when you go to sleep one day and you wake up the next morning, it is actually important for you to know how much snow has fallen during the night. That determines how you get out of your house. Sir Florida Man, just accept American hegemony. Euros are just uppity vessels who be given far too much autonomy. Who will they rally around? Brussels? Yeah, like, in the case of an actual invasion of Greenland... I have a very hard time imagining any of the European powers doing anything. Like, we will say we'll do something, like we'll go in public, oh, we stand behind Greenland. Exactly the sign, like von der Leyen is like, we stand behind the Iranian people. Not going to do anything, but we're here for mental support.
Stand behind them. Two countries away.
Enigma. Scandinavians act tough until Skrellings arrive. We beat the Skrellings. McCann's on duty. So in another bout of 2026, America is now bombing ISIS in Syria. Well, I mean, why not? It's ISIS. Fuck them. McWild 11 just blocked seaports, same as Castle Siege. Yeah, just cut supply lines. Miss Personality, B2 Bomber says hi. I think that'd be a waste. Ismail Thompson, also, next step in warfare tech is automated warfare. Bots are cheaper than satellites. Also, to be very scarier humanoid is not the optimal fighting form. Yeah, I'm actually a little bit upset about the Chinese, like, robot dog with a rifle mounted on its back, because that's actually pretty dangerous. And we're probably going to automate warfare, and it's going to suck. Because we'll start liking warfare then, and then dumb shit will happen.
Warfare becomes ever more of an abstract, and the price of a human life goes less and less, and then we live in some novel. some
live in a novel that
novel.
Arch is potentially making with the Sargon becoming reality.
Are you ready to
Sentinel
wreck
Rex,
this
our
young
Navy
nurse
would just
for
deny
letting
all
me
Europe
fight
access
for
to Greenland, making all of these points moot. Yes. Yes. Jay McWow, 500 warp tokens. Minnesota, whole situation should be summed up by Sarge. Shoot the bitch? Question mark. Yes, private. Shoot the bitch now. Rule. Draken, bold word, art of the language that sound like rolling gravel. Norwegian is a beautiful language. It's not Finnish. Jesus.
I don't know.
Dragon Mage, hi Arch, do you think Trump is going to send in the military to deal with the cartels in Mexico? And have you seen Razor's AI hologram companion? I have, and I'm not paying several $100s for a gate box. Just not worth it. Drenth, 27, I've been shocked how effective mud is as an anti-thermal technology. I mean, that's true. If you cover yourself in mud, that will seal in your heat pretty well. Martinez, the voice sounds AI to me, so the entire thing may be outright slop, including the script writing. No, I don't think he's AI. I mean, the way he pronounces Finnish words, I don't think the AI can do that.
No, but
I don't think he's
does
AI, I
sound a
just think
bit
he's
robotic,
stupid.
though. No, like, it does sound like specific static at certain points, so I know where they're coming from, because I had that, like, little thought in my back of my mind during the video.
There are a number of like YouTube videos nowadays coming from channels with around 20,000 20,000 subs ish, and all of them are like that weird uncanny valley of like, okay, they are AI, but it takes a while to actually figure it out.
AI is getting good.
Excuse me.
Cuban. He is forgetting that in the time the EU bureaucrats decide on a response, the US will have already taken over for 3 months and built a dozen new bases. Yeah, by the time the arguments settle down, I imagine all of Greenland probably has a new flag. I call 11. Arch, please, why video from retards? Any reason? I was told on Twitter. I was called an idiot, and he was like, this proves you wrong. And I was okay.
Arch got one guide, chat.
Arch got
That's what
own
happened.
zone today, chat. You saw it all in real time. Okay, that Finnish guy's video, it was so, it took into account literally everything. Okay, Arch is wrong. I'm sorry. It's just true. All right, America has
Arch,
a
world
natural
together,
cold
beat
debuff,
America.
like from Crusader Kings or fucking HOI or something. They have a -5 to their attack stat. You haven't taken this into account. America loses.
You see, America less number than the rest of the world.
Here, I even found it. Here's the guy. Sartuski, something or other. Go suck US dick. You're ashamed? No way. No self-respect. Like, there you go. That looks like content.
I like how you're very like just kind about it too. You're just, oh, this looks like content. Thank you.
It's hard to get Arch on his nerves, I think. I've never seen Arch proper mad.
Arch get debunked. That's true. You need to trust the science, chat. You need to trust the science.
Also, I did get community noted on this. I said there was a grand total of 30 Danish military personnel in Greenland, half of which are dogs. That is incorrect. There are more dogs than there are Danish military on Greenland. So, the claim of exactly 30 Danish military personnel in Greenland, with half being dogs, appears exaggerated. There's only 12 to 15 soldiers on Greenland.
Arch lost comic. He lost his argument to a fallacy. Oh no.
Yep. So there are far more dogs than there are Danish soldiers on Greenland. I stand corrected. Sometimes even I am incorrect. This was one of them. McQuell11, I call bullshit on the 120 troops logistics from the EU. I largely call bullshit too. I don't know how we're going to supply them. They can live off the land. They eat snow. Like, listen, we're not like that. That's a myth.
I just thought you just go to Greenland and it's basically just like Norska. There's just like chaos worship and they're cannibals or some shit up there.
Yeah,
Summon portals and whatnot. Yeah.
Well, we can eat the seals, I guess. I had the weirdest dream last night. I was climbing a wall made out of seals, and I had to grab onto their stupid little faces to pull myself up.
Did you succeed? Like, what? Did they get angry? Like, what would
No, they just let me do that, and they were kind of soft and squishy, and they didn't protest or anything. They were just a wall made of seals, and I had to go up the walls made of
You
seals.
ignorant slut.
Hey, there you go. What was at the top?
I don't know.
Maybe that'll be your next stream, like the top of the seal wall.
You have to go back in the dream. Finish the climb.
I don't know what that meant, but that was a dream. Martinez, so this video is trying to say that the same army that just did the Venezuelan yoink is somehow incapable of figuring out cold climates. Yes. Angelos, Archie, did you do a Necromunda lore video? I should, if I can think of something. Sky the Gunfox, my favorite furry, yet again. Late comment on the thermal optics. We have so many of them. We've had them all in our Humvees, and we had a number of our own machine gunners whose night vision could switch to thermal. There are so many thermal optics in the US Army, it's insane. Fur fund. Thank you. MJ Bull, how much men and equipment Europe has matters not if it's not in Greenland. Transporting them there would have to dodge the US Air Force and US Navy. Yes. Sentinel Rex, he says Europe as if all the Euro flags, countries in Canada would all agree to die for Greenland against the world's most powerful military force, and we're considering the fact that we have lots of friends in those countries. Yeah, and Canada as well? Like, I don't think Canada's going to do that. I don't think Canada's going to go to war with America and just assume that there'll be no consequences. Skikito, naval and air superiority. Hello, how do you get your superior numbers to Greenland, for fuck's sake? Norwegian is still just Swedish with potatoes in mouth. Correct. Michael 11, shame on Arch for farming outrage super chat with a stupid video. Lesson. Again, the man was like, look, this proves you incorrect. I'm like, okay, cool.
Arch, you've been own zoned. You need to turn in your badge and your gun. It's over. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I gotta give up that Luger. Arch, I'm sorry.
See, I wanted to argue about Operation Unthinkable and how the Americans would get fucking cream pie during that war, but no! I have to talk about fucking Greenland instead. Marine Elva, this video is too long. Don't worry. Don't read. America ignored all... fuck you, YouTube. Don't scroll on me now. Ignored all Arctic conditions in strategic and tactical capabilities, which is why the Soviet Union won the Cold War.
This yellow
That's true.
Fluttery, buttery butt.
Sinestro, is there anything sadder than Euro cope? Yes. Russian cope.
Yes.
Sentinel Rex, totally worth it. Land, resources, defense against Russia and China, staging place for the Golden Dome. This is key to securing America's dominance. Or check it all. Also check out the northern New York State where Fort Drum is. That is where a lot of winter war training happens for the US. Fort Drum.
Also, someone in chat says to remember Streamlabs.
I am working on it. Slowly, but surely. With determination and great intent. Boog, the US losing a logistic war. What? Well, listen, they only have so many icebreakers, and their aircraft don't work in the cold. Somehow. Timothy LaRue, as a Canadian, why would we get involved? We have L border with the US. If we fight the US in Greenland, we lose Canada. Yes, that's kind of
Greenland more important. Canada. Come on.
Not
your true ally, the Danes.
Evening all, Sagan is saying that the Imperium of Man is becoming fascist, as if that would be possible. Baff the Britard, so he can recognize his error. Beyond that, Japan is having its own AI for translation. Altus. AI. I do like the idea of using AI for translation. That's probably one of the best uses for it.
Yeah,
11?
the localization bullshit is annoying.
Yes, it is. Is the Yif Patrol 14 Yetis with werewolves? I mean, sounds like it. Sentinel Rex, what's stopping the US from carpet bombing European cities during this hypothetical situation to suit chaos in the heart of these united countries? I mean, not much. Okatolji, what about the American bases in that country? Well, I mean, I'm half thinking that Trump will use this as an excuse to close the American bases in Europe or something. Like, he'll get the Europeans to ask him to close the bases, and he will, and he'll save $80 billion a year doing so. Watch it go. This turns into the Battle of Hoth. Kinda does. Rain Elva, Arch, next time just watch Civ Div instead of TDS. Civ Div? I don't know what a fucking Civ Div is. Kyle, why does none of his calculations factor any attack on his mainland in addition to assault on Greenland? We can attack on multiple fronts. No. You can only use the 20,000 dudes specifically designated for Arctic terrain. Nothing more. Nothing less. Sentinel Rex, how many of the countries would agree with America? I don't even know. Publicly or privately? Most of us probably wouldn't care.
Anymore.
Elephus, you're asking the wrong question, Arch. This is not going to be a military resolution. The question is, if Europe breaks away from being the subject of America after this and push the EU army. Maybe, but the EU army is deeply unpopular. Blaze Stone, catching up, but Canada and Alberta in particular are starting to fracture from the general Canadian consensus. Petitions are starting to circulate in Alberta. Murmuring starting in SK. 2026 is wild. Homestuck. Dawn 3, Milking Farm and Ramen Fund. Very well. Blaystone again. Also, follow-up latest message. It's also very possible, if Alberta leaves Canada, might convince other provinces to leave and reconfederate under a new country name, including Ontario and Quebec. I would be surprised if they did that, but it would be funny. Adoman, this was a funny video. Do more. See, somebody liked it. Boog, but what if the US just steals all the presidents? Oh. That would work.
Oh,
Tick,
that's some Dr.
boom.
Evil shit.
As Greenland's population is about 50k, we should just send 60,000 Americans to vote yeah on Anschluss. That would be the quickest way. Solon Lich, US troops will march in a Napoleonic-era mass and wait for Snow Rambo to take them out one by one. I'd like to see the dense formation of American troops marching through the snow as a fucking dog sled crests the horizon and charges them.
They still have like drummer boys and like the flutes, you know, like the little music.
I was thinking back to Lord of the Rings movies. The eagles are coming, and you just a bull.
Mustang 61, this +5 for Dogsuit. That guy was taking copium life of 1980s crack attic of Miami streets by the tons up his nose. Marine Alva, I called it. 2026 be cray cray. It do be that. It do be that way. Warman Arch, you dimwit, the M4 Ugri is the current spec up standard issue, like an M4, but better. But I don't like the Ugri. That's a stupid name. Plus, it's the M4. The M4 is awful. Stop it. Cease.
Why do you hate the M4?
Because it's basically just a fucking M16, but dumber.
Why do you hate the M16?
It's dumb and you made of plastic, and you tried to beat Vietnamese people to death with it, and it didn't work because it was plastic.
Okay.
Oh, that's a shame.
I mean, you know, like the M4 is actually, I think, is the coolest weapon platform ever, but you know, whatever. We're not going to get into that, okay?
So, Jard, the US wants to take Greenland to recover the UFO. Ah, UFO. Most X-81, Dogsuit. The pretty things under the ice arch are not minerals, it's the alien base that's there. It's got all the humanity they took and they're experimenting on. Makes more sense than anything else. Ah, they're looking for the gate to Agartha. To be fair, considering the way 2026 is going, if Trump rediscovers Agartha, that would... I mean, that would be pretty cool.
That'd be fantastic.
The only question then is, are we going to get, like, fantasy Agartha? Or are we going to get, like, you know, swastika Agartha?
We rediscover the power of the Fent generator. and from there, you know, it's all smooth sailing.
Yeah, we can go into space. The Garsons will just be confused that people were still on the surface for some reason. Boog, what can the US do against sternly worded letters? Who knows? Dame Shep, my dad avoided being sent to Vietnam and being stationed for Arctic equipment testing in Alaska in case we had to switch to fighting Russians. You've been ready for this fight for over 50 years. God. I don't know what sounds worse, though. Getting sent to Vietnam or Arctic equipment testing in Alaska. Like, that sounds like a recipe for a shit fucking time. We have this new jumpsuit, We need you to stand outside in minus 40 degrees for a few hours.
Is there a third option?
Cthulhu, love you, Arch, but this is why you need to watch the China show. The Chinese robots don't work at all. The tech is 99% fake, especially the robots. I mean, they probably are, but listen, even the Chinese must surely be able to make something, right? Right? Angelos, easy low topic for Necromunda, the Redemptionist. That's actually true. Or the Redeemer, I believe is his proper name. But then I would need to reread the comics. And lastly, Mercer X21, Doc Suit. We're going to dress Lum up as a doctor. Just remember, Looney is Lumi's old personality. She's the one who loves the feet and begs for it. That's weird.
Some deep lore.
And actually, last one. Angelos, Trump rediscovers Agatha, confirms Pale One's real. Yes. Right, and with that, we are at an end. As, well, I'm very tempted to just load up this guy's next video now, because that was mildly amusing.
Arch, can you really handle getting owned again?
But, yeah. I guess chat can just start going out there looking for military videos for me to be angry at with now. Well, and Arch is just mad that the 416 is an M4, but HK. Listen, the other is German, and Germans are better than you at making guns. Thank you very much for watching today, chat. Thank you for your very generous donations. And thank you, Porkers.
No problem.
And Atari for coming along today.
Yeah.
And I will see
Good
all
night,
of
chat.
you probably tomorrow, chat, as I found this fantastic British video game teaching me about being an extremist on the internet. And that sounds like a fun old time, frankly. Until then, chat, thank you very much for watching and have a good night.